Oh, hey, how's it going? What's happening? What's going down? This is Ask a Traffic Cop After Dark, and I'm Sean Shapiro. And where that microphone sits next to me, the virtual microphone, in about 30 minutes, we'll be joined by my good friend Logan Grant from Brooks, Alberta, where he'll bring the cowboy perspective. Is that an appropriate way to respond? I don't know. We'll see. We'll ask him when he gets here. But we're talking about whatever you want to talk about. I, of course, want to hear about his Mexico trip. And I'm sure a couple people watched or saw me post about Mexico thinking, oh, we're talking about street racing. No. We're just talking about Mexico. He was actually there last week, and I want to know how his trip was. I want to know what's going on with you. What's happening this week? We're doing this thing where we talk about traffic safety, traffic law, and police stuff because I'm a former officer. He is a current peace officer, but he's in Alberta and I'm in Toronto. And yeah, it's a thing. Amar Dell says, "Are you a police officer?" I was a police officer. I am no longer a police officer. I have left the policing business. However, I continue to make a difference here online. I do that whole education thing like I'm doing right now. And this is actually what I did for the police towards the end of my career. I was injured in a motorcycle collision and as a result couldn't go on the road. So I started doing media relations and then created a new role of guy who talks online. It's stuck. So that's what I still do, even though I am no longer there. I do it here. I'm part of something called Better Traffic, and bettertraffic.ca is a not-for-profit that I founded when I left, and the goal is to make the whole education of drivers better. We want to make stuff and things available to you, a place that you can get answers. So if you got questions, feel free to ask them. That's how we do this. Brandon says, hey, Sean and all, hope everyone had a fantastic day. I certainly did. Got lots done. It was snowing for a bit outside. Not exactly excited about that, but it was a good day overall. And Stephen Bell says, hey, Sean, how you doing? I'm adding to the single characters, but I'm doing well, Stephen. Thank you for asking. A couple of folks who have jumped in on the, what's going on here? Come on. I got an old iPad here that I'm trying to use for additional viewage of comments so I don't miss anything and I can help moderate. But yeah, I'm just saying, Mona Kenny came in. How you doing? Nellie's Firehouse Gaming. Hello to you. Howdy doody. Caden and Canadian Ape. A long time no see. Well, let's see here. We've got there's my monitor right there. Just want to make sure I don't miss any questions if they come in and when they come in, because they do come in. I want to play with some Stephen, playing with some Suno, and then Stephen popped up. What's going on, Stephen? And the Real Walker Texas Ranger joined. That is a serious statement. I wonder if Chuck Norris knows what's going on when you say that. So Banajan asked a question, but we were chatting about it today on Instagram in your messages, because he writes, if an officer gives you a damage to municipal form and tells you to go to the collision reporting center, what does that mean? Well, it means you need to go to the collision reporting center because you damaged some property. But what he said in his private message to me earlier was that the officer also said that you didn't have any damage, so that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And then he sent a message just now saying, where do we ask questions? You are asking questions right now. I see you. Amanda Panda, what's going on? How you doing? Welcome back. And let's see. Jared the Bear, what's going on? Femino, hello. Spider, what's happening? Got lots of people popping in. Oh, Canadian Ape says, I got into an argument. I said those silly helmet covers were illegal in Ontario. You're right. Those silly helmet covers are illegal in Ontario. They're illegal pretty much anywhere. Safety of a helmet. We're talking about motorcycle helmets now. The safety standards for a motorcycle helmet are that of the helmet as it comes out of the box. Even putting stickers on could invalidate the lawfulness of that helmet and the safety, because the helmet's surface is designed to skate across the ground and until it disintegrates. But putting on anything that could catch friction and isn't the same resistance to friction changes the way that it functions, and it could hurt you. Now, people who are putting cameras on by way of GoPro, adhesives, those are illegal. Now, I don't know if I won it. I bought a bunch of stuff. So if you're new to the channel, know that I spend a lot of time buying stuff at auction, online auctions. I don't go to, I don't do those kind of auctions, but I do the, on the wrong browser. Hang on a second. I go to an auction site called King of the North. They're in Barrie, Ontario. And come on, King of the, why is this not popping up? KOTN auction. There we go. Might be in the wrong. Why isn't this just coming up to my, I got to sign in. Maybe I'm in the wrong browser. I'm still in Chrome. That's why I need to be in Safari. Where's my Safari browser? Come on back. Stand by. Here we go. King. So I'm all programmed there. I don't need to, but I use Chrome for a lot of different stuff. Keep my stuff separated. Keep it separated. Dun, dun, dun. Sorry, you either know or you don't know what I'm talking about. But it's just, I got a scroll thing. So I bought it like 30 lots. Oh, I'm looking forward to okay, I'm just looking through my list of stuff that I bought. And I will share with you what I bought in a moment. But did I get it? No, I didn't get it. I don't think I got it. I was trying to, I did get it. Okay. Here's a great deal. So I'm going to put this on screen. I'm going to put it on the screen. Okay. So this is actually my great deal. That's way too big. And it's also, hang on a second. Okay. Got to change this. Got to change this so you can see what I'm doing. Thanks for putting up with me. Here we go. We'll go to the bottom right-hand corner. No, that's the wrong button. Well, actually, I can put it over there. Okay. There we go. Hey, but now I'm all messed up. Yeah. What the hell's going on? Let's see if I can fix it myself. That's better. All right, we'll just do it like this. So here's the deal. That is a chin mount for a camera. It can be used for GoPro. It can be, so people say, well, you're putting something on your helmet, but that does it legally because you're not affixing it to the outside. You're clipping it onto it. You're not permanently attaching it. It's so silly. It's a difference in the way you're not attaching it to the shell of the helmet. Thus, it is not permanently affixed, and then you haven't changed the shell of the helmet. When you stick something with glue on, you are making it affixed. And then people say, well, what about the other ones that are, the shaggy doodads, which is how we started this conversation? Well, why is that legal versus this? Okay. Well, that just screwed it all up. Hang on a second. Okay, that's better. The reason that is different is that the shell is supposed on with Velcro, can spin, completely blind the person who's using it if it becomes dislodged. On impact, it can drag you down. This thing on the faceplate will snap off. It's designed to snap off. Same as the ones that go on for your communicators. I have some communicators somewhere hidden in my mess. They clip onto the shell. They don't actually adhere to the outside of the helmet. If you're doing it that way, you're doing it wrong. What else did I get that was cool? I got a lava lamp for my kid, or for one of my kids. Well, the kid that I didn't already get a lava lamp for. That's kind of cool. For $7, how do I say no to a lava lamp? What else did I get that's cool that I can share with you? Heated gloves for motorcycle. I don't ride anymore, but I want it just for the winter. I got some Milwaukee leather gloves that I probably paid, well, I got half price, but still. I got some new headphones that I'm looking forward to testing. Got some suction cup mounts for doing some video. It's a mast for putting a camera up for 360 recording. Looking forward to that. Oh, there's some cool stuff. We're going to have fun. Fun with the stuff when I pick it up. Okay, I'm closing this window so I can stop talking about my auction addiction. Because it is an addiction. Okay, go to the list. What else we got? Let's go back into questions about stuff and things. Walker's Texas Ranger says high school nickname. That's okay. They used to call me the sheriff. Let's see here. It makes sense. Comments, nicknames are awesome. I commented on a post about this, but maybe you can answer here. Is there actually a law surrounding tinted windshields on motorcycle? I've heard a few now getting tickets in Ontario. If they are, so it's specifically to motor vehicles, and I can see how they're trying to stretch the law. I don't agree with it. I don't think that it applies. And the deal is, trying to fix this. The deal is that it shouldn't be it shouldn't be applicable. And if we look at the actual, let's see, oh, is this? Do you feel like you need an engineer to help you with your stream? Sometimes. All right, let me go in here. I'm going to open up the HTA, and I want to have a quick look for windshield. See, it's going to be specific to. See, okay, hold on. I usually have some very specific opinions on this, and I do. I just want to windshield. No person shall drive a motor vehicle upon a highway with a sign, poster, or other non-transparent. So the question is whether or not it's a windshield. A windshield on a motor vehicle, the front windshield of your car. Well, it's not a windshield. It's a windscreen. It's a, whatchamacallit. It's not a windshield. So if you call it a windshield, you're helping someone write you a ticket, but it's not a windshield. It's a fairing shield. If you're looking through it, if it's up high over your head, I could see it. If it's required for you to see through, maybe you could make that stick. But most windshields are very low and are just deflecting wind over your head to reduce fatigue on the rider. So it's not the same thing. But the deal is that shouldn't be applicable, again, unless it's completely preventing you from seeing. But you can't use the same arguments on a motorcycle, I think. I don't think it was intended to be that way. Tell me about the motorcycle it's on, though. Because if you're talking about like a Goldwing, like I have a touring bike. So if you have a bike and the windscreen, I have an extended windscreen, which has a tiny bit of smoke on it, wouldn't be an issue. It's actually the color of the. That's another factor. Or is it? See, for obscuring the interior of the motor vehicle, it wouldn't work because that's talking about a film, and that's not the same thing. You're not obscuring anything because you can look behind the windscreen. It's a motorcycle. You're outside. So many things to unpack. Yeah, I don't think if it's driver's view obstructed. Can we do that one? Let's have a look at this. Let's go driver's view obstructed. Trying to make it fit. Scrolling. Gotta look closer. Scrolling through my digital obstructed. Come on. Windshield obstructed. No person shall drive. See, it's the same wording. With any signpost or other non-transmitted, but it's part of the actual screen usually. It's a colored plastic. I don't think it fits. I'd like to have the discussion with someone who thinks it does fit. We can hash it out. But at the end of the day, if you're not required to look through it in order to, ride the motorcycle, I don't think they have a leg to stand on for a conviction. Okay. And Canadian AP, of course you were right. Bernhard has a dad joke for later, so we'll tag that. Thank you for the hashtag dad joke. It makes it easy to find. How's training going, by the way? Interested to track your progress to see how you're doing. Bernhard is now a special constable in training. Rizzy wants to know where is sexy Logan? I'm sure he's going to feel really comfortable with that question. He's going to be here in about let's see, what time is it now? About 15 minutes. He's going to be here in about 15 minutes. He is dealing with his little ones. Radix, what's happening? Boom. Okay. Radix has a question. He says, I'm considering getting a motorcycle license. Are there any major differences in road rules for bikes compared to automobiles? Major ones? Other than the dynamics of how you ride a motorcycle? The rules of the road are the same. But how you ride the bike is totally different. Northern Cop, how's it going? He says, hey, Sean. Hey, back. How are you? Have I followed you back yet? I think last time I saw you, I said, I'm going to. Just tagging this. Northern Cop. Okay. Written down so I remember later. Just to double check. All right. Jennifer wants me to please define yield. Cars feel it's the right of way to let. Hang on, something was covering you. To let. Define yield. Cars feel it's their right for to let them in no matter what. So yield, the vehicle that must yield to the traffic on the road has to give way to the traffic on the road. If you have a yield sign, you're the one who must yield to those who have the right of way, which is the vehicles on the road. The vehicles on the road don't have to yield to you. They have the right of way, not you, if you have the sign. Pedestrians is a whole other story when you have to yield to pedestrians who are lawfully crossing. That's a different story. Mona X Kenny says to Jennifer specifically, oh, those aggressive drivers, I understand your point of view. I don't know. I always struggle to get in the lane. And also says, I'm a very shy but respectful driver, smart driver, but those road rangers are wild. I can't tell you how peed off I am on a regular basis by the audacity of some drivers who they're just a-holes. Yeah, they push up and push in, and yeah, they're not very nice. Let's see here. What's up, Sean from LBG? Not much, just here talking about stuff and things. If you're watching and you don't know who I am, my name is Sean Shapiro. I'm a former police officer. I used to work for the Toronto Police, and I no longer do because I was turning 50, and it was time to help my family. They needed me more at home. But if you're watching and you're not following me, please follow. And if you're watching on TikTok in particular, please tap the screen, show those likes, helps more people find the stream. And if you are on any other platform, please follow, like, subscribe, share, anything to help more people find what we're doing here. Because what we're doing here is trying to help people, answering traffic and police questions. And it's something I do 5 days a week, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. It's at 10 a.m. And then on Tuesdays and Thursdays, 9 p.m. And my buddy Logan Grant from Brooks, Alberta joins, although he comes in a little later, depending on how he can maneuver stuff and things. He's listening in on the gram. Raymond, how are you? All right, let's see what's going on here. So Nellie, I sort of acknowledged this earlier, but Nellie's Firehouse Gaming says, do you feel like you need an engineer to help you with your stream? So here's the deal. I used to have a group of volunteers who used to come in and moderate, and it was really helpful. So yes, I do need more. And I'm trying to get some funding. I've got some sponsors, and they're helping me out with stuff and things. But when we have an not-for-profit, when we actually have more funding, I'll be able to hire people to do it. I have a dream. That's my dream, is to get some people to help me with my stream. And live streaming is interesting because if it was just one stream, it would be easy. But I'm live streaming currently on YouTube, LinkedIn, TikTok. I'm on X. I'm on Instagram. And I have to check multiple places because the integration for comments only works on X, LinkedIn, and Facebook. So if you are asking me stuff and things there, I can do stuff like putting the comment on the screen. Boom. That's from X, and it's Rizzy who wants to know, what the heck are the Animaniacs supposed to be dog weasels? That's a good question. I actually don't know the answer to that. And I know exactly what the Animaniacs are. We got Brandon, who's coming in from the Tube of You, who says, was fueling up my truck and noticed the person in front of me was showing signs of impairment. I called 911, and Duffer and OPP were able to pull the driver over and was arrested. It felt good to assist. I always call, and I urge you to call if you are in or under the belief that the person that you are observing is a risk to themselves or others. Oh, I heard a Logan pop in. This time I heard the sounds. Let's bring Logan. Oh, I got to change the setup here. Hold on. And then I want to do. I'm going to circlify you. Hold on a second. This is really weird. How come? What did I have it set to before? No, this doesn't look right. It doesn't. What is going on? How did I have it set up before that was so perfect?
Yeah, it was in a little bubble.
Yeah. What I do. Yeah, as I play with the settings here. Logan, what's going on? Welcome back. How was your vacation?
It was much needed. Yeah, definitely needed. Good 7 days away. So
needed is good. I'm glad you were. This is really pissing me off. Excuse me.
We got a bubble. We got a circle at least there.
I don't know what's going on. I wish I remembered, but I don't. I was messing around with some other stuff earlier, and I done screwed it up. Okay, maybe this was it. Was it this?
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, I know what it was. I scaled my back. I messed up my. Yeah, it was me trying to share my auction winnings. There we go. We're back to this. We're back to this. We got it working, ish. Why do I feel like? Oh, because you need to be bigger. Whee! And then I cover up your name if I do that. What if I put you up here? Okay. Fantastic. Hey, look at that. You got a title under your
Oh, there we go. Look at that.
This is working. Okay. What's happening?
Oh,
welcome back
not
from Mexico.
much. Yeah, I'm glad to be back. Kind of. I'm glad to be back here with you, but maybe not glad to be back here. I could have definitely been on the beach a little longer. I don't know if my face needs more. Look like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer with this nose going.
You have a bit of a glow. You have a bit
just
of a
glow.
There's no question.
Just a glow. The light might be helping. But and you've been good?
I can't complain. We missed you last week. It wasn't the same without you, for sure.
I don't know about that. I was watching you. Brian, you handled yourself well. Brian, I miss Brian's. I was catching up on some of his while you guys were on. It was a good chat. I was jealous that I couldn't be a part of it.
Well, we'll do it again. We'll have Brian back. Did you watch every episode on his channel? We're talking about Brian Max. If you're interested in watching stuff and things about cars that go fast, he is a race car driver who has won awards. He owns a race team. He is a journalist, automobile review guy, with Brian Max being his YouTube channel. He's an all-around good guy. We actually met because he was the co-host of a radio show I used to guest on a regular basis on Zoomer. And because of that, we became friends, and here we are, jumping onto each other's channels.
Yeah, if you like car reviews, I checked out his YouTube channel, and he's got a lot of car reviews. And he doesn't just do car reviews on like big, expensive, fast cars. He does everything from a Toyota Prius up to, Ferraris and all kinds of stuff. So, and if you like the Grenadier, he's got a couple good videos on that. Sean helped him out with it.
So I've been doing a lot of drone photography for him. And also we were working on a couple of series where Sean buys a car, because trying to find a car that I fit into is tougher than you might think.
That's a good series.
300 pounds.
Yeah,
we're gonna have a lot of fun with that. And I might even try and squeeze into some other cars. I was in a is that a Maverick? I was in a smaller truck. Still nice,
Ford Maverick.
Not comfortable. Not comfortable. Not for me.
They're like one of the best-selling trucks right now. They can't even keep them on the lots. They're just, for the price point, you get a lot with it.
The mini Raptor, essentially. It was a really cool truck.
Yeah. Well, then there's the Ford Ranger. So Ford offers 3 different sizes in trucks.
3.
So 3 sizes. They got the Maverick, the Ranger, and then the F-150 and above. But the Ranger finally came out with a Raptor version for North America. It's been over Europe for a couple years now, because they don't obviously have the F-150s there, but they finally brought it here.
Right on. Well, it was fun to drive, and I don't want one, but I really did like it. I did like it.
Yeah.
It's not a realistic vehicle for me.
Yeah.
And Nicholas wanted to know where the sexy Logan Grant was. So
I'm right here, buddy.
He's happy.
I'm right here.
Let's see here. Brandon says, sorry, I can cook, I can race, but technical stuff I can't help with. We were discussing about, do I need a moderator? Do I need a technical team? And an engineer is what the original question was from Nellie's Firehouse Gaming. And having a team of people would be very helpful.
And the wife can only do so much. And at night, there are more comfortable places to be.
Yeah. Let's see here. We were discussing motorcycle. It was a question that came in on Instagram, and I don't know if Radix is back. Oh, who was it asking? It wasn't Radix. It was the Real Walker Texas Ranger. It's a high school nickname, by the way.
Okay.
He was talking about motorcycle windshields being tinted, and that some people in Ontario are getting tickets for them. And I don't think that's an appropriate charge, especially if it doesn't completely prevent you from seeing. If you don't have to look through it, it's a windscreen. It's not a windshield.
Yeah.
But how would you guys deal with it in Alberta? And for anyone watching who says, "Who's this guy?" He's a P.O. sergeant. That's not a pissed off sergeant. He's a peace
Pretty
officer
close
sergeant.
sometimes.
Sometimes, I bet. Yeah, peace officer sergeant in Brooks, Alberta. So a different province with different laws, because every province has their own laws.
So specifically more on crotch rockets, it's definitely more of a windscreen than a windshield. Versus like a Harley where the windshield is more almost in your field of view, right?
Well, I certainly look through my windshield, I'm calling it a windshield. I think it's a windshield on my bike, because I bought an extra tall one, because any bike that I ride, I'm getting beaten up. And I used to ride cross country. I rode to Georgia on that bike, and the extra windshield just makes it that that you're not tired, because riding a naked bike, a bike without a windscreen, you get extra fatigue, and that is no bueno when you're on the highway all day.
And getting hit by a June bug at 100 kilometers an hour feels like you're getting hit by a bullet. Yeah. So the windscreen is good.
Let's see here. Fiend says, how do tow truck people know where all the accidents are? And
Scanners.
Are they there before the cops? So, funny thing, police channels are encrypted, and as such, they can no longer listen to us, but they don't have encryption or the same level of encryption on ambulances, possibly fire vehicles. So they're listening to all that stuff to figure out where the collisions are happening.
And I think we've talked about this before. It's really bad in Ontario for the poaching of collisions and stuff. And a lot of agencies are putting in rules. And I think there's even some provincial laws there.
Now, so as of, I think it was January 1st of 24, they added laws that now really screwed everything up, at least in the city of Toronto, because we had very strict rules in the city of Toronto, and they changed them and left a lot of loopholes, and it was a mess for a long time. And I know that Sergeant Murray Campbell was instrumental in working with them to make it happen, because he's the tow sergeant in Toronto.
Yeah.
So they've made it better, but it'll need some more revisions before it's perfected. Okay, got to scroll back down. Northern Cop says, I agree that the charge doesn't make sense for motorcycles, nor does it sound appropriate. Right on, brother.
Yeah.
We're all on the same page.
Because most of the time their helmets, their visors are blacked out.
But they're not. But those aren't regulated. Like, I grew up.
That's what I'm saying, right? So whether it's a windscreen or it's your visor, I mean, there's no difference really.
Sunglasses, there's an identity issue potentially, but the whole masking thing is out. It's gone. We've lost that one. Jeff, what's going on? I see Jeff, a man who's into packaging, who's watching. How's it going? He knows who he is. Let's see here. Fit with Jay says, what is this? Why can I do fentanyl in Canada but not ride a motorcycle without a helmet? That is a silly question.
He must be from Vancouver.
He must be. I'm not aware of anywhere you
currently using.
Yeah, right. It might justify the. Listen, helmets keep your brain in the bucket. It's good for you.
Brain buckets, you got
us. The deal is that we have provincial health care here. So when you're spilling your guts everywhere, it's bad for the people who are responding and trying to help you. Let's prevent some trauma. And listen, I was in a minor collision. I say minor; it ended my road career. But at the same time, I could have died from a minor, fall and a bump in the head, or at least changed my life, dramatically. Helmets are a good thing, man. You should wear them, and you shouldn't worry about it. It's not a benefit to not have to wear it. I always tell the same story. I was traveling south into Georgia. I was got into Ohio. We all pulled off the road, took the helmets, put them in the trunks, got back on. I lasted one exit before I said, "This ain't for me."
Not for me. Yeah. Even then, you get hit by a big bug in the head.
Bad. Yeah, you need goggles. Proper eye protection is really important. Yeah, the eyes are important. When I see Jadak Kassi, I don't know how to pronounce your username, who wants me to talk about the changes to careless driving. We'll come back to that in a second, because there's a whole bunch of people that were waiting patiently. Sahib says, shalom. Shalom to you too. Dropping in some greetings. That's it. It's hello, goodbye, and peace. It's like aloha.
Yeah.
Same diff. Let's see here. Bernhard says, week 3, enjoying every minute. Scenario's fun. PT not so much, but wouldn't have it any other way. Bernhard's going through to be a special constable right now for York Regional Police, I believe. And it's
PT's
awesome to get
I always enjoyed PT because it was the one time as a team You all suffer together, so you will all
Yes.
come out stronger and better in the end.
Then there was the D-bag who was late for lunch because he took a nap, and then we
Yeah.
had to stay into a 1-inch push-up until he showed up. It was, I think we all wanted him to never come back.
Yeah. And you always put the heaviest guy at the front when you're doing your runs, because then you're only as fast as the person up front.
Yes, it is smart. Smart. Chestnut checkers, my friends. Chestnut checkers.
Chestnut
Bruv
checkers.
says, Bruv says, just wanted to say a quick hello. Appreciate you, sir. Thanks, Bruv. Bruv comes in on a regular basis and contributes with questions and
Good.
Comments and intrigue. It's good. Let's see here. Scott says, you're here right now. How long was I sleeping? It's not 10 a.m. I'm here right now because this is the After Dark version. Scott got freaked out. He's like, if Shapiro's here, it must be 10 a.m.
What's going on? Yeah.
It's just, oh my goodness.
It's nice that people use your show as an alarm clock. That's good.
It's fantastic. You can set your clock to it, sort of.
Yeah.
And speaking of which, I'm not going to be on at 10 a.m. tomorrow. I mentioned it yesterday, but I'll mention it again today. I have an appointment to take my dad to tomorrow, so I'm going to pick a time and come on later. It's going to be a weird and wonderful time. What time should I come online? It's not going to be 9 p.m. because that's for Thursday, but I'm gonna pick a time. And oh, by the way, as I completely squirrel, how are the levels? I'm checking. You say something, Logan. I'm going to see if your levels are too high or too low.
Well, my levels have come down since I came back from Mexico, but they were up pretty high when I was in Mexico. So
I think you're sounding good.
yeah, I'm.
No, and what I mean is that we're not like when Brian's on, he's really, really loud. And when Jerry Ager's on, he's really, really loud. And I have to balance the mics, but I think you sound good. All right.
I try, Sean. I try.
You're doing a good job. You're a machine. Let's see here. Bruv says a child. Okay. It's a joke. Bruv gave me a joke for later. I thought it was a question. I almost ruined it. So let me
flag
just
that one for later.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna flag it for later. Okay. Oh, interesting. I made a comment about Texas Ranger gentleman in the comments on Instagram, and Brandon says, "Fun fact: I catered Cameron Norris' wedding, Chuck Norris's granddaughter."
Oh wow,
that's amazing. That's so cool. It's too bad you're not close by, Logan, because Brandon and I are trying to figure out when to get together for lunch.
Oh, yeah. I'll live vicariously through. Maybe we'll FaceTime over lunch.
There you go. I have a stand.
I've been told I look like Chuck Norris sometimes, so I'll take that as a compliment.
Well, you got the Stetson. You going?
Yeah, got the red hair, the beard.
Interesting.
Yeah, minus the moves.
Absolutely. Mr. Creepy Gamer says, "Hi, love the videos." Well, thank you very much. I appreciate you. Thanks for coming in to share. Please share our stuff with everybody. It's important. And Simon. Oh, Simon. SZYMON. Simon. Okay, it just took me a while to compute. What's the coolest, sportiest car you've pulled over? That's it. I was asked that before, and I don't know. Just because I never really took a mental note of ever. I get that. Well, that wasn't. It was the offense. It was the individual. I was focused on the facts, not so much on the vehicle. What about you, Logan? What's the fanciest, coolest, most radical wheels you've ever stopped?
The best one so far. Like I pulled over a Lamborghini. I've pulled over Bentleys, but I think the best one was a '68 Dodge Charger in mint shape. It was a beautiful car. But then on the other side of things, I pulled over a Dodge Challenger that the guy had lifted, put like monster truck wheels on it, and kept the body all patinaed. No, it looked amazing. But he had all the appropriate fender flares. He had the mud flaps, but it looked insane. Yeah, definitely memorable.
That is interesting.
Yeah, a sleeper, so they would call it.
I love So I really like old cars, and I really like muscle cars. But I mean, I pulled over so many vehicles, I can't keep track of these things. Yeah. I have long lost the them there. That's what I'm saying. Here's a question. I'm now going to try and cut and paste them from the talk. But can we fight speed camera tickets?
Absolutely. You can fight almost every ticket you get. Whether you're going to win or not, that's a different story. But
Well, there is that. You know, people can sue anybody they want to. They can fight anything they want to. Your success may actually vary, and I've not seen a lot of success defending. Quite honestly, my experience has been they're convicted. What I have seen people successfully do is negotiate or navigate the how much money they have to spend by way of their uh, experience or their situation. So if you have no money to feed your kids and you have a bunch of them and you're trying to find work and you need time to pay, courts are happy to give you time to pay.
Yeah.
It's a fine is the fine, but we're going to give you a year to pay it, pay in installments. But if you don't pay
what you can when you
this,
can.
Yeah, well, that's it.
Yeah.
And you have till whatever time it is. And if you don't come by and ask for an extension, you are going to be found to be in violation and lose your whatever license plates ability to renew. Now, on the flip side, I've also seen people take a $300 ticket and get fined $60. So,
I see that a lot.
I see it a lot. Now, going back to the Jada cases, I don't know how to say your name. I'm puzzled, but it's a cute puppy looking at. I think it's a puppy. I hope it's a puppy. Sometimes you zoom into these little things and it's something else. In any case, the changes to careless driving. The biggest change, I believe, is the fact that it now applies to private property. So if you are driving carelessly on private property, or if you cause harm, death, injury, that is now something that can be laid on private property, whereas stunt and dangerous were the only things you can lay on private property before. Well, there's some other stuff like confused identity of plates and things like that. But yeah, now careless applies. And I think that's really awesome.
Yeah.
Because people shouldn't be just driving willy-nilly on private property because they could get away with it.
Well, and let's be honest, we typically see a lot more of our careless activity happening in parking lots, especially in the evening hours with our generations of individuals with their cars, doing burnouts, donuts, riding with people on the hoods, all kinds of stupid stuff like that. So,
oh yeah,
I mean, we've always had that, so it's nice that Ontario has come in for that, like we talked about before.
Available for you guys.
On private property, yeah. So, because we consider it a highway under the Traffic Safety Act.
And that's what they basically done is extended the definition, but not for all charges. Like it's a little confusing because they've adopted, and it's like you can't suck and blow, but they're doing it anyway. And they're basically saying that if there's access, then and if there's no gate, I think maybe that's the wording you used. If there's no gate,
so if there's no gate that can close at certain times of day and night or whatever, if it's completely open to public travel, it's considered a highway.
Okay, I'm making a note because 705 Insurance says I would sponsor you guys. Why don't you touch base? Well, I appreciate that. That's very kind of you. I will definitely reach out as I make a little screen grab so I can remember to do that. 705. Scott says I often see. Oh, did we cover that? Did we finish the insurance, the careless driving on private property? I think we did.
Oh, that's pretty straightforward, though. Really,
I think it is. It's just like going back to it for a moment. If you're driving in such a way that you are truly being careless and you're at risk of injuring somebody, yourself or others, there's got to be a way of dealing with it without going criminal. And that's sort of where they went with distracted driving. Bad. It's not exactly a parallel, but think about this. Careless driving was always a charge you could lay for people who are on their phone. They're carelessly driving. It was 6 demerit points, $500, $400, something like that, $495. $395. I can't remember what the price is. More than you want to pay. But they said we that's the charge. But we want to find a lesser included offense, create one that allows us to address the problem of distracted driving without hammering them hard. Mm-hmm. $125, no points. And then people didn't get the message, and it went up. It was either 150 was the next stage, and then 175, and then straight up to like 615. People aren't getting the message. So now it started out as lesser. It's now greater than. Pretty wild. Hey, if you're watching, you don't know who we are. We're just two guys yapping online, but I'm a former police officer. Logan is a PO sergeant in Brooks, Alberta. I'm the guy from Ontario who talks about Ontario law. I should probably put Ontario somewhere on the screen because that's my specialty, although we can talk about traffic safety and laws.
Would you just put like little flags next to our names?
Ones that
that flap. Yeah.
And flags are so controversial these days. Everyone's got comments.
Yeah.
Canadian ones, elbow ones. I don't know. Everyone's got feelings. Let's see. Scott says, truth. Oh my God. I've got, Scott says, question. I often see very faded plates. They often look painted that way. did you ever find people faded painted? So if we're talking Ontario plates, very often they're peeled and look like they are bare metal, and that's a problem. But in terms of like fading naturally, if they're legible, if they're clear and discernible at a distance, I have never had an issue with them. I still wish I had 80s plates. Actually, I might have a pair of 80s plates hiding in my garage somewhere, and they probably look better than my modern plates that are reflective and fantastic, but crap. So there is that.
And it's the same here in Alberta. I mean, as long as your plate is visible and clearly displayed, you're good to go. But we do see, especially on a lot of farm trucks, farm vehicles that come into town, they're old plates that have been around the farm for probably 30 years. And, the paint is definitely starting to wear off. And if you have a hard time discerning what the plate is, then you can be charged for that.
I've yet to see old plates that are so crappy that they look worse than new plates. I've not. The new plates look like they've been through like a re-entry from outer space. Like they're just garbage, peeling terrible.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've laid lots of those charges. If you have plates that look like crap, get them replaced. There's no zero zilch excuse. It's acceptable. They're warranted for 5 years. If you have B series plates, they're replaced under warranty, like indefinitely. It's been over 7 years, I think, and they're still being replaced under warranty. So if you're told they won't replace them, go to a different location, they'll replace them. If they're so little known fact, the MTO is not Service Ontario, and Service Ontario aren't all actual Service Ontario locations. Some of them
are privately owned, aren't they?
Yeah, it's privately owned.
Yeah, that's what we have out here too.
And you know what's crazy? They sell license plate covers, which are not permitted on the road, but they sell them anyway, tinted and clear. I'm pretty sure, but which is people are asking me because I put up a video that's already over 50,000 views, and they're like, "Well, why can you buy them if they're illegal?" And I'm like, it's not illegal to sell plastic, even though you're not allowed to put it on your plates.
Yep. Which you think an agency that's responsible for getting people their registration and their plates, they should maybe not be allowed to have that within their building.
Think that would be,
and maybe they would just take that contract from them, remove the ability.
Yeah, I'd like to see that happen. I'd like to see people who need to do the right thing do the right thing, and be held accountable if they're not. But who knows? Maybe they just didn't know any better. Maybe they're responding to the complaints of their crappy plates, saying we need to fix this, not realizing that the law says you can't do it.
Yeah.
But then again, I've had somebody, and I don't even know what his name is. I'm eating beard here. I
join the club, buddy.
It's the occasional hair that decides to shed. The deal is that I had a guy who was just losing his mind online, that I was telling people it was illegal to have clear license plate covers when it's not. He had someone who sent him an email and he told him it was okay, so he's operating on that authority. Here's the deal. Clear license plate covers aren't just clear. They have a reflection to them. They reflect light at different angles. They make it harder to read. They obscure the plate. They may be dusty, dirty, faded. They can be bitten not bitten, but sandblasted. So they're slightly opaque, but not so much that on certain angles they're perfect, but other angles they're not. Some of them have polarizing to prevent license plates from being captured on certain cameras, like the ones that do speed enforcement. There's a whole bunch of reasons why you cannot put anything there. They're just not optically correct. And people don't like that answer. They say, but it's clear and I can see it. The Northern Cop says lunch hour with the traffic cop should do it as a time.
There you go.
And the Northern Cop says pulled over the Batmobile the other day. He was in town for Comic-Con. Wait, where? I need to go to Comic-Con. That's awesome.
I did pull over a Zamboni once.
A Zamboni on the road?
A Zamboni, yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I was going to one of our lakes that we have in our area to do the ice. But it was still, I mean, yeah, probably. But
probably. She just wanted to see if, where the skating was going to be good.
Yeah. But it was still funny in Canada pulling over a Zamboni. Well, that was funny.
Spider says, Logan and Sean, hello, and then follows up with, Sean, you should get beard shampoo. What makes you think I don't have beard shampoo, my friend? I definitely have beard shampoo. In fact, I should get sponsored by a beard shampoo company, but my wife bought me beard shampoo for the holidays, and I've been using all sorts of treatments and oils and stuff to make it nice.
Beard straightener is where it's at. Got to get a beard straightener.
I don't know how I feel about those iron.
Oh, no.
It's basically a hot iron, right?
Yeah, except it's like a big comb. I have one, and it It gets rid of the wiriness. It just straightens it out, and then you get a nice long.
I don't know. I'm not ready to perm my face.
Oh, it's a whole thing though, Sean. If you're gonna commit, you got to fully commit to it.
I imagine that's yes. Spider says, "Dude, when are we going out for lunch?" I think we'd have to do a meet and greet, like set up an event and you know, go out as a group or something and get the Batmobile there. Oh, it was Brampton Batman.
Ooh.
Oh no, sorry. Spider's asking if it was Brampton Batman. Okay. Northern Cop says it states if the parking lot connects to a highway, just looked at all the Chiefs memo. They also yellow as well. Oh yes, the clear plate, the clear, they get sun bleached, which turns them yellow. And yeah, absolutely for the covers. Little Italy College Street joined. What's going on? Your live ended on TikTok? What are we talking about?
Uh-oh.
Did it break? No, it still says live. I'm watching it right now. It's still there. I'm watching it on a device to make sure it's coming through clearly. So it may have hiccuped for you, but it's still live. Okay. Spider says he's got things. Let's go back to the TikTok chat because there's been lots of action there. Oh, and it's still snowing in northeastern Ontario, according to Nellie's Firehouse Gaming. Papa B, although this is somewhat a few minutes ago, said, "Go Leafs, go up 1-0 on Buffalo." I have not been following the game. Okay, are you watching the game in the background?
No. If I had it on, it may not even be here with you.
You'd be distracted. Well, I thank everyone for joining, knowing that there's a game going on. Fit with Jay says, "PP for PM" is his message. And then Terry Wilson, I think, was there. That's political stuff, and I'm just there's a button that says "Get info on the federal election." Hey, look at that! It just showed up. It's like it just popped up on the screen. AI is amazing.
I can't wait to go and vote. April 27th is our voting out here. Well, it's probably voting for everybody, but I will gladly stand in line for 8 hours if I have to.
Did you know you can do advanced polling? You can go to in advance. You can do it like at the central pub. I think I did that last year. I went like way early. I should probably try and do that tomorrow or the next day. Either way, I want to get it done. Let's see here. Nellie's Firehouse, thank you very much. And then Peel, Toronto, and more. That's Terry Wilson. What are we talking about? Peel, Toronto, and more what? I lost the context of that comment. In Ontario, they have Fit with Jay says that in Ontario, they have safe injection sites. I guess talking in response to one of the comments about fentanyl versus helmets. Oh, 1 second. So apparently
I don't know.
Your levels are higher, so I'm dropping your levels a little bit. Thanks, Nellie's, for letting me know. I'm just making you a little bit quieter, possibly maybe. Let me know if that's better, Nellie's. Okay. World 889, World, WROLD. Rolled? Anyway, they want to know if this is actually live. No.
Yes.
We didn't just read your comment live. It was pre-recorded. We just psychically. Yeah, it's very live.
We don't even have a buffer. Like if we say stuff, it's
out
there. There's no delay.
Yeah, Brandon says we should do a live with you and Logan. You should jump in. Kids come by, absolutely. Or we can get together. I don't have a car we're putting next to your fancy cars. He's got a Corvette and he's got other funky stuff. But
I still say,
give you some advice on cooking. I want to buy a new barbecue. I broke my barbecue because I was barbecuing all winter, and it was frozen, and I was just pushing and twisting, and I had to turn the gas on, and I just snapped everything in pieces. Didn't know
you're gonna get a barbecue. You're gonna get a Blackstone. Well, I know so many people switching to the flat top.
Why?
It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work.
But why would you want one? Like, what is the benefit of a Blackstone? It's frying your meat instead of like cooking it over fire. Isn't fire better?
I would think so. But I've had burgers and steaks off them, and they're amazing. But like you have to season them all the time.
Well, because it's like cast iron, right? Or what's it called? Isn't it called cast iron?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, I have to share because I want everyone's opinion. Hang on a second. Ninja Smoker.
Ooh, anything by Ninja right now, they're killing it. They got some wicked stuff. Yeah, it's something in your house you can get, and it doesn't take very long. I've seen a video.
But are you familiar with this thing that I'm talking about? That I'm
Yeah,
trying to show?
I watched this guy on TikTok. He does Dano's seasoning. I don't know if you ever seen that. And anyway, he did some chicken wings in one, and it was crazy.
Well,
It's got a little
other than
spot
the
for your
fact that I
pellets.
can't find the freaking thing. Hold on a second.
Yeah.
It's called products, and then we go outdoor, and we do outdoor grills. I think it's the all-in-one.
Because like this Ninja one you can do in your house. You can smoke in your house.
Flex Flame. No, this Ninja one is. Come on, I'm pressing the buttons and it's not working. Oh yeah, here we go. Okay, hang on. Here we go. Sharing. I don't know what it's going to do to us, but it's going to screw it all up. I know it. Share. Yep, screwed it all up. Hang on a second.
Oh, that's not the one I was thinking of. No.
Yeah, dude, I saw
the one I saw. You can put it on your kitchen counter and it'll smoke.
Well, that's the other one. Yeah, that. Okay, let's make. No, I'm screwing this up. All right, we'll make it a little bigger. A little balance here. Okay. This thing, which is not being. I'm going to change the shape of the window. We're totally talking about cars right now. Completely. This is totally a car thing. It's a grand or more, but it has, you can do pizza in it, and it's got the Blackstone-y kind of attachment, so you can do it. I would do breakfast. I would cook all my meals in this, but you can smoke. This is a crappy website, like totally crappy. But it's got a pellet thing for smoking. It's got a moat. You can like temperature gauge and actually get it up. Like
looks like there's a rotisserie on it. A whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. Let's see. Look at that. That's the air fry. You can make French fries in this. You can cook pizzas in this. But is that a barbecue anymore? Premium half griddle, full griddle, quarter griddle. I don't know how many griddles it's got. It's got accessories, but then I gotta find a place to put the crap that goes with it. But anyway, I'm gonna go back to not talking about these griddles. Well, that's a better possibly thing. Let's turn that off and we're back to normal. Cool. Yeah, so I want to buy a barbecue. I brought this up because Brandon knows stuff and things. He says, Vermont Castings or Broil King are my top pick for barbecue, and Broil King is made in Canada, but the barbecue I have is the Broil King Baron with rotisserie. I don't think I'd actually ever use rotisserie, unless I'm not making chicken. Is there anything? What else are you gonna rotisserie in it with it?
A pig.
Probably not in my house.
Piglet? No. Oh, jeez.
But at the same
my bad.
time, I could see that being. I remember I went to my buddy's wedding. They pulled out
I can't believe I did that.
The wild boar at midnight.
Yeah. You can even do like.
What's that?
Sorry, I was going to say the beer can chickens are always a good. I've had a beer can chicken. They're awesome. Yeah. Crack a beer. They have these special stands. You put the whole chicken on it, and you put the beer can in the middle, and you open it up, and it's good, nice and moist.
Northern Cop says he sent me the current wording for careless driving. Did you send it? Where'd you send it to? Was it for like email, or was it one of the many platforms? I never know. Let's see here. Careless driving. Let me just have a quick look. So, since we're coming back to careless driving. So holy moly. Yeah. $490, 6 demerit points with arrest authority. I'm just looking at the shield badge. What the heck is the app I'm using? It's called Shield Basic. That's what it is. Best subscription. Do you use Shield Basic?
No, but I've heard of it. I know some guys use it. We've got so many tools in our vehicle to quick find.
I've always invested in this. I pay for it privately.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay.
He's good. Every person is guilty of the offense of driving carelessly who drives a vehicle or streetcar on a highway or in a specified place without due care and attention, without reasonable consideration for other persons using the highway or specified place. Does it specify specified place in my version? Probably not. In this section, driver means this. Specified place. Here's definitions. Any parking lot, structure, or garage, whether public or private, paved or unpaved, flat or multi-level, above or below grade, including any driveway or road that connects the parking lot to a highway.
Yep.
Then there's a section sub B, or any parking lots into which drivers are expressly or implied invited or permitted to enter with or without payment, and no matter whether payment was made or whether the driver entered with or without permission. C, any private commercial or industrial parking lot from which the public would ordinarily be excluded. That is, I believe, the same wording as the most magical and significant stunt driving charges. I think it's the same. Either way, I'm glad that you prompted me to look it up. I didn't actually see your email, but I did look it up based on your comment, and it was worthwhile. So I appreciate you. Panda Poppy X3 joined. Amanda Panda says, I don't want to get too political, but Elections Canada has the polling station people taking home the ballot boxes for safekeeping. Elections Canada has confirmed this. I don't want to vote early now. Only mentioning it because it came up. And I appreciate you for bringing that up. I wasn't aware. I did see a video earlier talking about bring a pen when you go to vote, because otherwise people are handing over pencils and not pens. And there was concern about people changing them. And I don't know if that's real or fake. But every time I've ever voted, every time I voted recently, it's been a Scantron, like directly into the machine. I can't imagine anyone modifying that. I don't understand why ballots would be going home. I would think they would scan it immediately. So I don't know. But you're saying that that's been confirmed by Elections Canada. So that's an interesting thing. Northern Cop says it's the ultimate Wait. Which is the ultimate barbecue? Oh, sent on Instagram, similar. Was there a specific, were you saying that the Ninja is the ultimate barbecue? Maybe that's what I have to go buy.
Maybe.
I mean, if I have to do it. And this all sort of started when Motorcycle Ninja came in, because Ninja got on my brain. And then, Brandon started talking about food. But he's saying the Broil King and the Vermont Castings. And I've never even heard of Vermont.
I've heard of Vermont Casting, and holy moly.
I have a
open your wallet.
Yeah, either way, it's going to cost me.
Yeah.
I was at one point I thought I was going to get an egg, a green egg.
Oh, and you know what? I've heard a lot of bad things about them too. They take a long time to heat up, from what I've heard.
I need to get out there, cook and go. I can't spend a whole month at it.
Because the green eggs is no different than like they're more for like slow cooking stuff for the most part, right? Like, I don't think they're a traditional barbecue style. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure they're more. Yeah.
The egg has a big following, and I know people make pizzas in the egg too. But it's charcoal, and I have no interest in doing that anymore. Like, I thought it was an idea, and then someone woke me up to the idea that I was an idiot to think that.
We all have our moments. Some more than others.
Let's see here. Anything to attempt to keep insurance down is worth the effort. Well, I don't know what the context is for that comment from Motorcycle Ninja. Not sure. Okay. Baden Nugent says, if a bus has its arm out, but there's a median in the middle of the road, does the other side have to stop? This is a good question. A median, like, that runs the entire length of the road, that you cannot do a U-turn because there is a completely two sides of the road. It's called a, my brain just went pafooey. It's called, what is it called? Northern Cop, what is it called? I can't.
Like a divider or what?
Highway divider and undivided.
Yeah.
An undivided highway means that there's no divider, and a divided highway means there is. But the 401 is the best example of a divided highway. There is actually two separate
physical barriers.
Yeah, it's basically two one-way streets.
Yeah.
Because if you have I would argue that it's very, very few times you actually have a divided highway where it would be inappropriate for you to stop. But like University is divided for the most part, but there's areas that aren't. So at an intersection, if there's an intersection, it's not divided. Like it depends. But yeah.
So
go ahead.
Even for us out here, if you have a solid divider down a 4-lane road, and we have a couple 4-lane roads in our city. If there is a solid divider, traffic, let's say the bus is stopped in the westbound lane, traffic in the eastbound lane does not have to yield to the bus because there is a solid divider dividing both lanes.
Would be appropriate for me. I would
yes,
say
even that would be something like that.
Easily.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a common thing that people just don't think they have to stop, whether it's divided or not, and they're wrong. Yeah, wrong.
It's a $567 ticket here and 4 points if you fail to stop for a bus.
That's a serious knick-knack. Northern Cop says I should buy that barbecue for science, and in the name of science, that makes a lot of sense.
There's a lot of things I'd buy in the name of science.
Yes. Ali says or sends gifts. Thank you very much. It's very kind of you. And Ali says, if you need a volunteer for reading the Ontario Driver's Handbook in Spanish, I could do it. Well, very cool. So here's my little thing that I was going to share, and I appreciate the offer. I actually have access to AI magic that does AI avatars, and I can, with the click of a button, produce in 30 different languages, which is pretty spectacular. And it's just me who I've been trying to onboard a lot of it, because I was reading the first 2 chapters myself, and I'm like, self, this is taking a really long time, and I'd rather get it out consistently and quickly, because I know that doing it once a week is too slow for the average person, and it's a lot of stuff, but they want to get their license. So I want to increase the speed, but that's actually slowed me down. But I think that's really awesome. I'm going to try this way, and by all means, send me your information. And I'd love to know your feedback on the electronic version. Tell me if you think it's good. If it's good, you give me your thumbs up, then we're good. And if we need to redo it because it's not good, let me know that too. Lucas shared the live. Thanks very much. If everyone's watching could really share the live, it would be very helpful to having more people see the live. And the goal is not about accumulating followers. I mean, it is, but it's not about because we want numbers. It's not so we can feel cool. It's because we want to help the most number of people possible. And that's what the goal is here. Two Sales says, B series plates with a face palm. Yeah, real bad. Imran wants to know, has anything changed with American registered cars with all of this going on? Changed like how?
Nothing has changed from the Alberta's perspective, and I would imagine any province's perspective, on registered and insured American vehicles driving in Canada legally.
So and Two Sales said the same thing. We changed in respect to what? And the deal is that we haven't changed our immigration, our visitor stat. Like, nothing has changed. If you drive in as a visitor with your vehicle and the vehicle is safe for the road, you're able to stay here as a visitor. Like, nothing has changed.
Your U.S. license is comparable here for a certain period of time, so you're good to go.
Northern Cop says median strip is what I believe it is to divide. Concrete islands. Yeah, you're probably right with what.
We would just say a physical divider. It has to be a physical divider.
But the difference is there's sometimes a median at an intersection that's where the light standards are attached, or but that's not enough. Like that to me, if a vehicle could easily cross into your lane, outside of the intersection, that's not divided. So it depends, and it's not a good answer, but it depends. Mr. Steak is here. He wants to know if that's a leaf sound.
Yeah. It is.
I love that Mr. Steak is now called Mr. Steak because we called him Mr. Steak. And
he's referred to. Oh, yes.
He changed his name to Mr. Steak.
Good.
And I love it. It's
Run
awesome.
with it.
Anyone in the London
Mr.
area
Steak.
should go visit Mr. Steak. You should follow him too. GDM wants to know. JDM is letting someone else know that I am a former officer. Sorry. JDM says I ran into Officer Arsenault this past weekend in BC. Dude's hair is on par. And he's explained to us that he's a former police. So I know, Randy. He's a good guy.
Is he? He's retired though, eh?
So we're the same age, and he left roughly the same. Actually, he left maybe a year before me.
Okay, I thought so, but
yeah, he left October. Was it a year before me or more? But he is now involved with a minister of something with I forgot.
I thought he was with Indigenous Affairs or something like that,
or
with something.
He does a bunch of things. He's a busy guy.
I follow him on Instagram. He's always got some pretty cool videos out there, especially with PC Pappy.
Interesting stuff. Yeah. JDM says he probably got his license plate legal knowledge from ChatGPT. LOL prompt, make it sound legal. I don't know what we're talking about. Are you suggesting that I got my license plate legal knowledge?
The chat is a special place to be.
ChatGPT is an amazing tool, but no, my information doesn't come from there. Not that it doesn't. Actually, I should say sometimes it'll assist with looking things up quickly, because I use it for all sorts of stuff. But does it replace knowledge? No. Do you have to verify the information that you get with actually reading the act? You do, because do you hear about the guy who went to court? And two things I heard. One, a guy was making submissions. He was a lawyer. He did all his research using ChatGPT, but ChatGPT made it all up. So when they went to review the cases, it was all bogus. But the other one was really cool. I just saw this yesterday, and it was a dude who has difficulty speaking, like he gets nervous. So he created an AI avatar which spoke for him, and it was a really bad AI avatar, and the judge lost her stuff, like just totally. Let's see here. Oh, get out of town. 705 in, so INS. That's amazing. What a good idea. So 705 Insurance is the user that was saying that they would, want to sponsor, and said it's easy to find them because their telephone number and website and business name are all 705 Insurance. So it's area code 705-INS-URANCE. That is freaking brilliant. Like, that's really brilliant. To be able to find that, to be able to have insurance as your first three digits of your telephone, or INS.
Yeah.
What are the odds?
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm
well planned.
You're amazing. That's amazing. Okay. JDM it says, talk to you later. Headed home to cook some Wagyu burgers on the barbecue with some hickory pellets. That sounds good. What kind of barbecue do you have?
Thanks for telling everybody.
This is the barbecue show, and I'm now hungry. TPS Bike Cart, what's going on with you? Hello. We got to have you back on. We got to talk.
Eckhart? Is that Eckhart?
That's Aaron Urquhart.
Oh, yeah, Urquhart. That's awesome. I still follow her on Instagram there with her all of her bike stuff. Content. Yeah.
Let's see here. Amanda Panda says, what's that? Going back. There was more comments here. Sean, what is the nicest 400 series highway in your opinion? Everyone complains about the 401, and I get it, but I'm the most familiar with it. I hate the 400. I feel claustrophobic, and people are insane on it. The 403 isn't my favorite really either. I gotta say that 401, the 401, is probably the one that I like the most. It is that space to move freely. You got lots of lanes.
I like the 401. I've been on the 417, 416, the IDR, the EDR, 401 is way better. I mean, no highways, they're all congested at some point, but I'd prefer the 401.
Well, when things go bad, they're all bad. But I get the whole reason. In certain areas of the 401 aren't so wonderful, but when you deal with the 400, it is narrower. There's fewer lanes. There's areas that drop down to 80, even though there's no construction. And by the way, OPP in full effect last week when I went up there. You weren't here. You didn't hear about this. I saw a white shirt doing traffic stops on the 400.
He was giving warnings, Sean. He was not giving tickets.
So. He looked angry.
He doesn't go to court anymore. Come on. White shirts don't go to court.
I was impressed. And there was 5 or 6 PCs out on the road. PCs are sergeants, but regular shirts, dark shirts. Yeah, they were out there in full effect. So Kevin Samantha says, Randall is the Human Rights Commissioner. See, I knew it was about something.
That's
thing. Yeah, and he runs Indigenous Spirit Fund. 2 for
That's
2,
what. See, we were getting close.
We were not getting anything. Greg says hello from Quebec. My favorite 2 TikTok
Bonjour.
peace officers. Thanks, Greg. Much appreciated. This is Big J002 who says, hey, what is different between numbers and letters like Class 5 and G2? Province they're in. Is Class 5 a learner's permit by you?
No, Class 7 is your G1, Class 5 GDL is your G2, and Class 5 is your G.
Sorry, say it one more time. Class 7 is a learner's?
Class 7 is a learner's, so it's your G1.
Got it.
And then we have a Class 5 GDL, graduated driver's license. That's your G2.
Why can't they just make it G1, G2?
We all can't be like Ontario, Sean. I know if certain people had it their way, we'd all be like Ontario. But Alberta's very set. We're very set in our ways. But I'm pretty sure
the rest of Canada does that, doesn't it?
Right.
The 7-5 G.
No, I'm pretty sure Manitoba is numbers, and I think Saskatchewan is numbers too. BC, I'm pretty sure uses letters.
Well, that's good to know. I can't keep track of this stuff.
And I like BC. We've talked about this before. They actually mandate stickers on the back of learners' cars to indicate.
I like that idea.
Yeah, so do I.
You get less hate if you were a bad driver with an L on the back.
They have to have an N for novice on a big sticker on their back window.
Because L would be too controversial.
Yeah, it could be loser or whatever. Yeah. Or that.
Northern Cop hates the Don Valley parking lot. I don't disagree. It's bad. It's bad.
Yeah.
I don't go downtown anymore if I don't have to.
That's
Because
what
if
the
it's past
417
5:30
is
in
in
the morning-
Ottawa. Yeah. Yeah, the 417 going through Ottawa is the 417 parking lot. Like, I would have to leave an hour and a half before my shift just to get there. And I was driving 15 minutes. And you would just sit there and sit there. I hate the 417.
I don't like not moving. I'm a traffic guy who
Yeah.
doesn't like being in traffic.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
Well, even just going through emergencies, it is so hard to maneuver through a parking lot like that. And the soft shoulder, even then, it's so dangerous as an officer or an emergency vehicle to try and fly down that soft shoulder because you never know when some idiot is going to pull out.
Speed differential. That's the problem with everything.
Yeah.
I went out to Hamilton to visit family on Saturday, and I was using the HOV lane, and of course I'm doing the speed limit, and it's the speed differential that's the issue. When someone jumps out in front of you, which is why you don't want to be speeding in any lane, but you definitely don't want to be speeding in the HOV, because people who are impatient with the backed up traffic in the main lanes decide to go over the painted lines, which actually is an offense for the HOV. They've got signs posted, and those signs actually carry authority. So it was an experience to watch people jump in and jump out and have those near death experiences. It's fantastic. Keeps your blood pumping. Two Sales says, typical officers' thoughts always divert to food. It's true. It's very true.
I mean, nobody can turn down a good steak. And whoever said Wagyu, I'm just so mad. Because
so first of all, you said you're not coming to Ontario, but it just means I got to come out.
When someone dies, I'll be there. Don't worry.
There you go. Well, we plan our festivities.
I'll let you know when there's a funeral to coming down. Yeah.
Oh,
Funerals. Okay.
So dark.
No, funerals. Okay. And I've always said this, have the best sandwiches. And if you know what I mean, you know what I mean. A funeral sandwich made by old ladies in a church are the best sandwiches you'll ever have. I don't know if it's the emotion. Oh, yeah. The triangle cut ham salad sandwiches or the egg salad. Oh, funeral sandwiches are the best.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm always up for a good funeral sandwich.
Mind you, you know what? Generally, synagogue, church, any kind of food that is a distraction from listening to someone reading things, I could see it being a bonus. And then I went with my cousin in Florida. He I was there visiting, and he lost his dad, and he became more religious, and he wanted me to come with the temple, and I went, and they were drinking and having a great time. I'm like, whoa, it's Saturday morning.
This is temple.
And,
sign me up.
Whiskey and I don't drink, so it was just funny watching everybody. Northern Cop says the number of new drivers that are stopping in the middle of their lane instead of pulling to the right when safe to do so when we're running lights and sirens is really annoying now.
Yeah.
It's not new. This is something I was dealing with.
It doesn't go away.
Years ago,
It
as long
happens
as I've
here.
been on the road.
Yeah.
You two, lights go on and people go, oh, and they freeze.
It's the ones that's just stop in the left lane. They just stop. They put it in park. You see the lights flicker in the back. I'm like, what are you doing? And then they're forcing you off and on. God. People with lights and sirens. And the thing is, we are always at fault.
Yes.
I don't know about in Ontario, but in Alberta,
if
we were running lights and sirens, even if we're not,
Lyrens.
Even if
a T-shirt that says Lyrens.
Lyrens. Even if we are doing everything right, we are still at fault. We will always be at fault. And it just puts us in a really shitty spot when you have stupid people who don't. And the thing is, everyone knows to move to the right. And at least make an effort. If the effort is there, fine. But when you just sit there and do nothing, it just, if everyone could just part the sea, it'd be great. But they don't.
Well, Germany and Europe, they just do amazing. They actually do the right thing. It's a beautiful
I've
thing.
seen wicked videos of that, and everybody just like squishes off to the side. I am not afraid to use my PA. My PA in my patrol car is my favorite tool. And the amount of people, when I get on my PA and I say move or get out of the way, they look up. I'm like, yes, this is God talking to you from a PA system. Why are you looking up? It doesn't make sense. I yelled at some people jaywalking the other day through my PA, and they looked up. I'm like, in what world is the sky talking to you? I don't get it.
God, I'll move.
Yes, seriously. I'm like, what are you doing? First world problems, right?
Fantastic. Northern Cop says funeral sandwiches always I can't read. Funeral sandwiches always hit different. And the answer to the comment
do.
earlier from, I think it was from Two Sales, said, foods make us happy. I don't know why I put an S on foods. Yes.
If I stood up, you'd know how happy they make me.
There you go. So going back to your sirens thing, there is a reason why we go lights and sirens off and speed to most calls, because people just do the stupidest things in front of us. So there is a reason not to activate the lights, because people do the darndest things. You know, like it was Bill Cosby with kids say the darndest things. Well, people do the dumbest things when they're seeing or hearing lights and sirens.
Sometimes
it's just a bad scene.
A lot of times you'll see them, they'll whip up to an intersection, they'll throw everything on to get through a major intersection, and as soon as they get through, they turn it off and they keep going. Because just getting through normal roads where there's no major intersections, like you said, it's just sometimes it's just safer. Because you just confuse everybody. People panic.
I'm using you as the test for. Okay, here we go. This is the design. I'm making a T-shirt. What do you think? I just texted it to you. I'm going to try and put it on the screen.
Uh-oh.
This is ChatGPT's
Lyrens. Yeah, I like it. Lyrens.
How can I do this? Let me share it with everybody else. I got to save it, I guess. Save as. No, where's the save as? Come on.
It's like a Rickyism, but we'll call it a Loganism.
A Loganism.
You know what does anyone knows what a Rickyism is, right? You know what a Rickyism is, right, Sean? Trailer Park Boys?
It's from the magic of Trailer Park.
You know, water under the fridge, worst case Ontario. I mean, come on.
It's the best. Make worst case Ontario. Did he? Is that
yes,
where
he
started?
did. That was where it started. He said it in the show, worst case Ontario. Or then I always use it now. It's all water under the fridge. Just like, yep. Yes, it is, Ricky.
I didn't really watch the show, but I did run into them. So I knew who they were.
You gotta binge
it. Wonderland, and they were lost. And it may have been Disney. It was Wonderland or Disney. In any case, I ran into them and said hello. And
I hear they're the nicest guys.
They were
nicest guys. Yeah.
This really screwed up, but there's the line. It's not
Lyrens
to be showing.
God,
can you see it? Does everyone
and
see
it's
it?
next to me. Yeah. See, I'm stupid, and I said that. So
no, it's freaking brilliant.
Lights and sirens, Lyrens.
I'm making stickers and I'm sending you a whole bunch of them. That's how this is going to go. Northern Cop, what's your opinion? I'm going to try the PA on Friday. He's trying stuff. He's gonna
PA is your best friend. Yeah.
PA never worked in my cars. I always tried to. They just weren't loud, and I don't know why, and it really annoyed me.
Because whoever built your car probably made the volume very low. I had them crank it right up.
There's a dial on it. Like, why can't you just? You should be able to turn the dial.
I've also got 2 speakers in the front of my car, 2 sirens.
Oh, that's different.
So when I scream at people,
they hear you.
The whole city will hear me.
I've had better luck just sticking my head out the window and hollering. I can make people jump.
Yeah.
Yes. And
you could make people jump.
Actually, I think I made someone jump a couple days ago because I have to send you some video. I've been meaning to edit it and share it, but I haven't done it yet. I make a left turn to an on-ramp onto another roadway. A vehicle that was 2 car lengths behind me. There were 2 car lengths behind me, and they decided to aggressively pass the car behind me. And then, they wanted to aggressively pass both of us.
Yeah.
But I made a lane change about 4 or 5 car lengths behind. And then he pulls up beside me. I see him in the back window just waving his arms, yelling and screaming. So he's angry. And he pulls up beside me and he starts to yell at me. And I stick my head out the window. And I had some very choice words for him. And he said I cut him off. And I said, I'm a former police officer. I guarantee you I did not cut you off. Plus a couple of extra choice words. I said, slow the F down and be a good driver because what you were doing was stupid.
Yeah.
And he was not happy.
We would call that job security, Sean.
Yes, there are people ensuring that there is always a place.
There's always a place.
There's always a place.
There's always a special place, too.
It's warm there where he's going.
Very warm.
All right, let's see here. Kevin says we need to get together for a Corvette ride and grabbing food. And you have an older Corvette while Brandon has a newer Corvette. And Nicholas has an opinion about food, and it's not funerals where he says are the best. He says The food at every ski resort cafeteria is the best cafeteria. Come on.
Yeah, you're probably paying $100 for the cafeteria food there.
I don't think the food at those are seasonal, horrible restaurant. No, I don't buy that.
No, funeral sandwiches by far, handmade by little old ladies in a church kitchen, are the best. I'll fight to the death. They're the best.
Okay. Well, Brandon talking about the green eggs, not eggs like that I made in 10 seconds.
I was going to say, are we talking egg salad or what?
No, he's saying that they take 20 minutes to heat up.
That's a long time, though.
20 minutes. Well, I don't know.
When you can just turn your barbecue on, crank it up to high,
and then you're straight out the wall.
Yeah, right plumbed. That's the best, eh?
I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
I have two. I should probably I have two barbecues in the backyard. One is I think a hornet's nest, and the other one is now broken. And I think I might just clean that out and buy myself some.
What you should do is, if you think you have a hornet's nest in the other one, crank that heat right up and see what happens. Yeah.
I have to go get the propane tanks from the garage, plug it in, and see what happens. Let's see here. Erica wants to. I'm sorry for the delay in responding to you because we've been talking about all sorts of stuff. But Erica says, any guidance for someone thinking about becoming a driving instructor? I will tell you that driving instructors, although they are incredibly important, are not paid nearly enough. That's what I can tell you about it. Because my buddy used to be the head instructor for young drivers, and I have another friend who I've not spoken to in a while, Ryan Pinn in Nova Scotia, who is a driving instructor for young drivers, and I don't get although I've never discussed numbers specifically, I got the impression they weren't paid nearly what they should be paid. And maybe I'm wrong.
I would recommend starting as a driving instructor before becoming a driver trainer, if that makes sense. Do you know what I mean? So like work for young drivers or whatever, right? Okay. Teach how to drive. And then if you want to become someone who like tests people, do that first. You know,
most people who do the testing don't have driver instructor skills.
But that's what I'm saying, right? So, and patience. Oh my God, I would not want to be a driving instructor in the city I live in. Just with our culture and stuff, it's dangerous. I've gone to collisions where the driving instructor's in the passenger seat on a road test. Like I'd have a hard time doing it. I'd be smashing that brake pedal on that imaginary brake pedal so much. Patience.
I couldn't do it.
No, I couldn't. I couldn't. Maybe it's because of what we know.
Saints.
I don't know, but yeah.
Ben says his girlfriend is about to become a 911 dispatcher. Any tips for her? Pace yourself. I don't have any specific tips because it's possibly the hardest job in the world, and I don't have any experience doing it. I did have the opportunity to go to the dispatch floor, like half the floor in Toronto is dispatch, the other staff is call taker, and they rotate. But there's just so much going on. I would be overwhelmed. I'm busy watching 5 different things happening here, and I'm like, blah, 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 blah. And they're actually making sure that your call gets taken with the appropriate information, and then make sure that police get to respond. So they're amazing. There's a very high washout rate, so really be switched on. That's the best advice I can give.
Well, some of we had close friends, and they're both Calgary police dispatchers, and it's a difficult job. You're going to hear a lot through your headset. Mm-hmm. Some things you'll never unhear. And it all depends on who you're dispatching for. Are you dispatching for fire? Are you dispatching for EMS? Are you dispatching for police? Are you dispatching for all? And then putting the call to the right people, right? There's a lot of different avenues within dispatching you can do. The biggest thing is to take care of your mental health. We've talked about it on here before. Take care of your mental health. Just because you're not seeing it, you're going to feel it. You're going to feel everything. If you're the one taking police 911 calls, you're going to be hearing people screaming on the other end. There's someone in my house. You'll never do everything right. Most dispatchers have a list of questions they have to ask, and people don't like to be asked questions. They want help now, right? So patience and just working through it and taking care of your mental health, having a good 100%. Team around you. Yeah. It's a rewarding job though. And you are the lifeline to all emergency services, and you get a lot of flack from us sometimes. And especially when we hit those little red buttons on accident, we really piss people off, but, you are genuinely the lifeline for all of us. So if you get into it, it's a rewarding job. What's that?
Cop says takes a special person to be a dispatcher.
Yeah, it really does. So,
And
I hope
like
it
said,
works
it's a
out for you.
difficult job. Yeah, do your best. That's all you can do. Floyd Lightman, who brings a lighter note to this conversation, says, it's a great place for smoked meat, which, by the way, is my favorite of the meats. Montreal smoked meat. Have you ever had good Montreal smoked?
Oh, yeah. I've been to Montreal and I've had Montreal smoked meat. But I also I think it's called Smitty's. I think it's a restaurant, and they that's what they do, Montreal smoked meat. Oh, I love it. I can get it out here in Alberta, and I'll make Montreal smoked meat sandwiches at home. I absolutely love it. Love it.
I buy the stuff from Costco that's frozen, and you just nuke it for a minute, and it's so good. That's if I can't have fresh, I'll take that.
Yeah.
Fred Zeppelin says, dude, when did you become Grizzly Adams? And he wants to know if I'm undercover now. I'm so undercover, I'm no longer employed by the service. That's pretty undercover.
Yeah. Pretty close, though.
And Northern Cop says, red button is the dispatcher appreciation button.
Yes, it is. Couldn't have said it better myself.
Oh, yes. I have a video. There were so many videos I planned on doing with them, but it didn't work out because I left too early. Somebody doesn't like the OPP. Okay. And Fred says, it's a cool look. I could infiltrate a bike gang going undercover. I don't know. I think they might watch the show.
As soon as you open your mouth and say something, they'll be like, wait a minute. I know that voice.
So much about the traffic laws. And ride.
Yeah.
He makes siren sounds. Double 519 Big B says, how do you feel about Pierre? Wants to vote, but he's having trouble knowing the truth. I can't give you advice, man. You either align with your personal views and your things you believe in, align with one party or the other, or you're happy with the last 10 years or you're not.
I've actually just says, I've had a couple of people ask me just in general, like, oh, how are you swaying? I'm like, how do you feel right now in this moment with where you are, when you go to the grocery store, at the gas pump? How do you feel on your paycheck? How does that make you feel every day? And if you're feeling like crap about it and you want something different, well, you need to go a different way.
Well, but here's the funny thing, and I can't believe I'm going down politics avenue right now, but I think that once upon a time, 10, 20 years ago, I'll call it 20 years ago, the left and the right were really a hair on either side of the center.
Yeah,
one of the parties has gone far, far, far away from that center, and the other party is basically where both parties were 20 years ago. They haven't changed very much. There are new parties that are far right, but I think centrist is where the majority of people are in Canada, and I think
they want a little bit of this and they want a little bit of that.
Yeah, it's a tough one. I really try and avoid talking about politics, but I'm a firearms owner. I shoot competitively. I have strong feelings about firearms.
Yep.
I don't believe
100%.
that crime is currently occurring because of legal firearms.
Law-abiding citizens.
Have a real big issue with the current government who have been working to take them away from people who are following the law. So I have issues with that, and they just turned down an appeal in regards to that. The court, it's bad. It's really bad. Two Sales says sights and lyrens, not just lyrens, sights and lyrens, and I got to write that down.
Sights and irons, yeah.
It's good. I like it a lot. All right, all these stickers I got to make now. Oh, it's costing me money. I don't think I can say your name just because I'm going to mess it up. So I'm just going to say, what do I do when driving on a two-way what do I do when driving on one-way two-lane road and have EMS behind me and right lane congested? If you have nowhere to go, where do you go?
You make an effort.
You make an effort. If obviously,
even if you have to get close to the door.
The door?
Yeah, like if there's a car next to you, get as close as you give as much room as you can.
But if there's nowhere to go, and pulling over would stop the traffic entirely. If there's truly nowhere to go, keep moving forward, I would say, to the closest place that you can pull over. There's usually two shoulders on a one-way street.
Yeah, and don't speed to do it. Don't drive carelessly to do it.
Not covered, and they don't want you to speed to do it. They just need you to keep moving till you can pull over. And I think that would be something you could articulate if you were pulled over and said, well, if I stopped, they would have had to stop too. I think that makes sense. Yeah.
But if you're getting pulled over, let's be honest, they're probably seeing the ambulance too. So if you're getting pulled over, I would probably question the officer's motives.
Yeah, it would make sense. Although I got
because they'd be seeing the totality. Yep.
Well, that's it. It's all about the, were you you're making your best efforts and doing what an average person would assume. If you were charged for that, you'd have a defense. And this is where dash cameras are a really good idea. If you don't have a dash camera, get a dash camera, because that would be something you would enter into evidence saying, look, this is what I saw. What would you do? Yeah. They'd let you off, and they'd have to. The Smoking Caboose in St. Thomas is amazing barbecue. Never had it, never been there, but that's something I would check out. The Northern Cop says, your voice is as well known as Cam Woolley. You won't be able to go undercover. Yeah, Steve Ryan.
Good old Cam.
I think you're right. Cam's a great guy. I have fun talking to him. Yeah. We connect every once in a while. Let's see here.
You had a question for me. You're going to say something.
Yes. So here's a question for you. Thank you for reminding me about before I went down a rabbit hole. So the deal is, I got a DM from a chap who got charged with stunt driving. Here's the scenario. And I'm not using any information to identify them, but they were at an intersection. It was the night of heavy ice, slippery roads. They accelerated and lost traction with one wheel, according to the individual. So they're still traveling straight forward, straight through. And for about 4 to 5 meters, that wheel spun. So they didn't let off. They 4 or 5 meters, they went through. They were then pulled over and charged with stunt driving. Amongst other, there were some charges for tinted windows and some other stuff, and noisy muffler. But straight line, one wheel loses traction according to their description of the events. Stunt driving? What do you
think? See, here's where I come. Like, one, you got to drive
different
the
stunt stuff.
Yeah, but I mean, you got to drive the road conditions, right? So as soon as you feel your wheels losing traction, let off the gas, get your traction back, ease back into the throttle.
Yeah.
If you're carrying into it and you know that wheel is spinning, and let's be honest, if it's a front wheel drive car, both wheels are spinning.
F-150.
What's that, sorry?
F-150.
With an F-150? So the rear tires were spinning.
One rear tire, according to them. But they're according to them tracking. Because my first question in the dialogue that we had was,
well, if it's tracking, then the car's
sliding through the intersection. He says, no, straight. And I'm like, if you were going straight, I probably wouldn't lay the charge. If you were doing a 45-degree angle, I would. That's my take on it. I said, I don't know what you actually did. I don't know what the officer saw.
I don't know if I would charge for stunting.
Well, if you're drifting through the intersection, I would.
But if he's going straight, but to me, the thing is if he's actually losing traction going straight, he's holding into the throttle, and he should be letting off to get traction and and ease back into it. People who start losing traction and they start doing this and they don't correct it, to me, now you know it's happening, and you're not doing anything to correct it.
Yep.
And let's be honest, an F-150, if you got no weight back there, you're moving. You're probably moving. Let's be honest, right?
Well, that's where I was at. By the way, just to acknowledge Evandro, who is a cadet in training with with Peel Regional Police. My bad, I almost recruited you. How you doing? I haven't seen updates. I hope you're doing well, Evandro. Hope you're studying hard. I'm sure you are. You're that kind of guy. Evandro, a cabinet maker by trade, became an auxiliary with Peel Regional Police. He wanted to become a traffic guy, became a Peel cadet or police officer, hired as a police officer.
And you get to drive all the nice Dodge Chargers down there too.
Those cars that I don't fit into, that's not so nice.
Yeah.
Erica wants to know why we're seeing more drivers stopping far back from stop lines and signals. We have some terrible drivers.
Yeah. I was always told by, what company was it? Oh, it's been so long I can't remember. As soon as the stop line disappears from your hood, that's when you stop. That's what I've always been told.
Yeah, you want to see things in front of the vehicle.
Yeah, and the guy who actually trained me on 2 occasions was the guy on Canada's Worst Driver after the French guy left. There was a driving instructor on there. He had his own company.
Are you talking about Scott Marshall?
Maybe.
But that's the guy that used to be on my show. He's a friend of mine. He was on Canada's Worst Driver as the young drivers rep. He was on.
So this guy wasn't Young Drivers though. He had a different company.
Oh, so different guy.
Yeah.
He was the safe driver. My guy. We got a question of what education steps would you recommend for someone wanting to become a police officer? And Brandon says he's got to go, so we're saying good night because he's got an early morning. Nice talking to you too.
Adios.
We should have you on for an episode. We should do a cooking show. I'm down with that. But the education steps to recommend, if you can beat the qualifications, go do it. Check out tps.ca/careers or any police agency that you want to join. Check out what their requirements are, and if you meet those requirements, apply. And if you are talking about improving yourself in general, learn languages, volunteer, just keep improving yourself, make yourself an excellent candidate for whatever service you want to join.
Yeah, post-secondary is not a bad option. I mean, a lot of places do either want to. It's a recommendation or it's an asset to have. It's not required, but if you're young, like really young, like if you're 18, you really got to stand out.
Yes.
And that's just my experience. You got to stand out because a lot of them will still look at your age. But if you can stand out, and if you have post-secondary, you do a lot of volunteering, you're ingrained in your community. Stuff like that, the lead up. But the biggest thing too is you have to remember like we talked about this before, every province has their own provincial testing before you even look at applying. 100%. So definitely look at whatever province you're in and look at what the provincial testing is like. Tackle that first. And then once you've got that, then ball's in your court.
It's about continuously improving yourself. And they also don't want to see big gaps in your resume. So if you aren't learning anything, you aren't working anywhere, and you aren't doing anything, what are you doing?
Or if you have less, if you're just job, and there's like 4 months in between when you're right, that's another red flag.
Yeah, you want to have you want to be dependable, consistent.
Yeah,
have a plan.
They want to see commitment,
for sure.
Right?
For sure. Ethan says, "Sean, what's going on?" That rhymed, right?
Sure did.
Yes. And JDJSJAJSJS said, and I don't know why I read that. What's the difference between a police officer and a peace officer? Well,
police officers are peace officers.
Are peace officers. Yeah, sorry, I walked all over you there, but
no, that's okay. I'm used to it.
So what's the difference? Well, it depends on where you are and what the deal is. I think the biggest difference is and I'll speak about the Ontario stuff, and then you can take it from Alberta. But a police officer has a certain number of authorities, and if you are in Ontario, we call you a special constable. That is an expanded set of authorities that only stay with you while you are on duty. When you're off duty, you are no longer a special constable. At least don't have the powers of the special constable status. And then the civilian. So police officer, 24/7, you are a police officer. So you have all those responsibilities, whether you're sleeping, eating, going to the Blue Jays game, you are expected to act. And if you do not act, you will be held accountable, whereas a special constable wouldn't. And how does it work for Alberta?
It's actually pretty much the same. So in Alberta, we have community peace officers or peace officers, and they would be more like your special constables in Ontario. So when we're off duty, we're off duty. We have no obligations. Now, we still have certain things that we have to adhere to under policy through the province, like we have to act accordingly, all that kind of stuff. We can't bring our jobs into disrepute, so to speak, even when we're off. But our peace officer program out here, where it varies from Ontario, is that most of our peace officers are traffic officers. Now we do have,
you guys do what you do.
Yeah, I enjoy it. But we do have transit. So Calgary, Edmonton, Red Deer, they've all got transit peace officers, just like you have special constables there. In the courts, they have sheriffs. A lot of police services use peace officers for prisoner intake. We have peace officers in our hospitals. We have peace officers at all of our universities and colleges, kind of like you have special constables at universities and stuff.
Yeah,
but the vast majority of us are all traffic officers, and a lot of our primary focus is traffic safety in our communities. So that's where it really varies.
Traffic is important stuff. People don't give it the credit it deserves. Yeah. Two Sales says, right, I remind myself of job security every damn day, they said, in terms of the behavior of others. Yes.
Every day.
The Northern Cop says, Sean and Logan, I got to go. I'll talk to you guys later.
It's been a pleasure.
Logan, I'll add you on Instagram.
Oh, you'll be disappointed. But yes, thank you.
Oh, my goodness. You're moving. I believe I've seen some of your posts recently, comments. Your movement says, people get mad when I speed past them and merge with significant space. They should drive faster. when you say that you speed past them, I'm assuming you are breaking the law. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they're going slow under the speed limit, and then you're doing the speed limit past them. But if you're breaking the
We'll go
law,
with that.
or, yeah, people shouldn't drive faster. We don't want people going faster. Trenton Rogers says, "How up to date are you on the current scams or on current scams?" I know a lot of them. I don't know if I know all of them. What scams do you have for me? Let me know. Break it down for me. What scam are you experiencing or talking about? Because there are some that are happening. A friend of mine's mom was robbed in a parking lot, and I say robbed. They had an older couple, asking for help because one didn't feel well. Asked for directions to the closest hospital. When the mom or mother-in-law gave the directions, they said, "Oh, we're so thankful." And they wanted to give her a gift. It was a gold chain. He insisted on putting it around her neck, and while they put the chain on, he stole the other chains. Real gold taken, fake gold placed. It's all a pickpockety thing. Let's see here.
That's happening in the States right now quite a bit with the gypsies. They call them gypsies, and that's what they're doing. They're holding signs saying my kids need help or whatever. And then, they'll give a gift in return, and then they're scamming people that way. It's crazy.
There's so much. So it is the same person. Your moving's got the big. I speed and do dumb stuff, but you haven't found me yet, so I'm just going to keep on doing what I do, just doing dumb stuff. That's basically what they're saying, and they just keep on.
Well, they'll either get stopped or they'll get dead. I mean, one or the other.
And one is more final than the other. And I mean, for their sake, I hope that it's not the latter. But they're choosing their own brand of dumb.
Choose your destiny.
Let's see here. And Gurbaz doesn't like police. He says Ontario police are clowns. But that's okay.
If I put a red nose on, though, I would look like one.
Well,
it's not
acting.
It's not bad.
All about you do it for the.
I'm funny. I can be a clown. I make people laugh on traffic stops all the time.
Oh! Speaking of clowns, did you watch The Pit? Have you heard of The Pit?
Oh, I tried to stream it when I was on the plane going to Mexico. I want to watch it. It's gritty. They swear. I want to watch it.
I binge watched it. I 15 episodes. My wife and I 2 episodes a night, like champs.
It's good.
Be prepared. I was destroyed emotionally. I cried. I laughed.
Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah, I keep seeing clips of the one episode where the mom didn't want to. Oh God, it was something to do with a procedure, and mom didn't want to do it, and dad was like, "Just do it."
I know exactly which section.
Yeah, and I'm just like, oh.
That's nothing. Like, they deal with a mass casualty event.
Yeah.
That was a measles event, and the one you're talking about.
And it all takes place over an 8-hour shift or something, 12-hour shift.
So it's like 24. Mm-hmm. Every hour is the continuation of the last. It is amazing.
Yeah, I've heard very good things about it. Yeah, I've actually heard it's the best medical drama since ER.
Well, one of the guys from it, the guy who wrote it and is the lead in it, is from ER.
Is when he was like 18.
Knee high to a grasshopper or something like that.
Yeah.
No, but I want to watch ER now. And what my wife said was it's the procedural from the perspective of the doctors and nurses and staff as opposed to ER, which was based on a patient perspective. It's a totally different environment.
Yeah.
I can't. I want to watch it again, but I got to give it some time. Such a phenomenal, needs to be awarded, needs to get acclaim around the world.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I don't know what animal the emoji is that is your username, but what education steps would you recommend for someone wanting to become a police officer? We talked about it with somebody else. Just you just got to keep improving yourself. You got to,
at minimum, 18 years old, grade 12 or equivalent as your minimum, and then anything you do to better yourself. Stand out in the interview. Take the provincial exams first. Apply.
Yeah, but look at it. Go talk to a mentor. I mean, talk to a mentor in the recruiting side of things. Ask them what they would do. I couldn't give you good advice other than continuously improve, take languages, volunteer, stay fit, stay out of trouble, don't get driving tickets because you don't drive properly. You don't want to be breaking any laws that you're expected to enforce later.
Yeah.
Bruv says, and welcome back, by the way, do you believe the punishments fit the respective crimes under the current governmental guidelines? In what area? Because that's a really broad thing. I believe that we need, strict rules and heavy sentences. I don't believe in hug a thug. I don't believe in in giving people a reduced sentence for things unless there's really serious. But everyone gets a free beat now. It's like there's very little going on.
Did you watch the recent video of the 2 Vancouver cops getting set on fire?
No, and I don't think I watched it. That sounds what the hell?
Yeah. This guy, he's out 10 warrants. He's got massive criminal history. He was let out on bail, and he ended up spraying lighter fluid on this one cop and torched him. He lived and they're fine. I mean, obviously they have injuries, but you know, that plays into that, right? Like we have a system that is letting them out, these dangerous, and I'm not just saying like petty stuff, dangerous offenders.
Yeah. And
we're letting them back out into society. And this is what is happening. And this is the first time where it's really impacted the officers, like frontline. I mean, obviously it impacts them all the time going to all these other events, but we hear about it in Toronto and in Vancouver and Edmonton, where citizens are being attacked, like aggressively attacked, stabbings, you know, and all these people are out and they've got a history and they're out on bail waiting for a trial or waiting for a court date. Like, why?
We actually need to put people in jail and leave them.
Yes.
I really like the, aside from general concepts of the two parties.
Bring back the firing squad.
I do like the concept of jail, not bail. I don't understand how we have people, like my friend was murdered by somebody who had been effectively arrested and released on everything under the sun. There wasn't a charge under the criminal code he wasn't charged with, apparently.
Except for alarming Her Majesty, you know, really. Everything but.
Oh, it's alarming that this person wasn't already in jail. Anyway, I don't want to go down that road right now, but we need to have stricter stuff happening. Trav says, I saw a driver in a Tesla sleeping while on autopilot. What would the charge be? Well, you're driving while unconscious.
Careless.
It's not a level 3 or level 4. It needs to be supervised. I would say careless driving at the very least. It's not criminal dangerous.
I would charge them with careless, and I would let them go in front of the judge and explain themselves, because the judge will laugh them out of the courtroom. You were sleeping while your car was driving.
Yeah. Well, I've been in court while people alleged that they were not using the phone while they were driving. The car was driving. They were just passengering. But there is an obligation to.
It's like, was the wheel in front of you?
Yeah.
Yes.
Where was the car? Where was the steering wheel? What position were you in?
Yeah.
Two Sale says careless driving, dangerous operation, but stunt. Maybe stunt. Maybe stunt. I don't know if stunt.
See, and see, that's where I would always go. I would just do careless, and then let the court decide if going down to the.
They couldn't go up. That's the problem. So if you go up, they can go down. If you go down, you can't go up.
That's what I'm saying, right? So start at the careless, and then if you need to go down to stunting. Well, stunting for you is different than careless, right? We're stunting for us.
Careless is stunting is a very specific number of acts, and I don't think it qualifies for stunt.
Yeah.
Really, unless they weren't in the driver's seat. If they were in the passenger seat, they would be stunting. Dangerous operation is a criminal charge under the criminal code, but there would have to be
more mitigating circumstances. I think.
I think you need great intent for that. You got to know,
like if they caused a collision and injured someone or anything like that.
Well, now we have careless driving
while we're
caused bodily harm.
Yeah,
which can carry serious consequences, including jail time. But the dangerous, I think you need to be actively involved in driving. Whereas, let's say you've passed out, you didn't decide to take a nap. You just passed out because you're bored. Because that's Tesla drivers aren't drivers; they're supervisors. Two Sale says all police officers are peace officers, but not all peace officers are police officers.
Fair enough.
We say that about motor officers. All police officers are police officers. I can't even say that, but effectively, no. We say that the reason that for the ETF is because not everyone can be a motor officer. Anyway,
traffic cops are a special breed.
Yeah, but motor officers on top of that, we're super special.
You get the high boots, the high browns.
If a cop takes your money and doesn't report it, how do you go about getting it back? Are you talking about bribery? Are you talking about theft? What are you talking about? Go make a report if you think someone's stolen something from you. Bruv says there was a jewelry robbery at Costco in Brampton and everyone just watched. If I interjected and thwarted and detained until police arrived, would I get charged? So here's the deal. If you're seeing, this is when we get into citizens' arrest powers under the criminal code. And the criminal code gives you lots of power. But if something went bad, and here's the problem. If something went bad, one, if you got injured, are you covered? Are you out of work? Or can you not, pay for your, you're putting yourself at risks are in harm's way with no potential or no real coverage for benefit. Okay, yeah, and the company that Costco that lost the stuff, they have insurance.
Yeah.
I would not put your life at risk. I would not put my life at risk to stop someone unless I thought 100% I could do it safely. In my current position as a police officer, I'm covered. My family's covered. They're going to eat. They're going to have like it's a different situation. I'm also backed by other benefits as a police officer. But could you do it? Could you effect an arrest? So if it's an indictable offense, now you have to know what an indictable offense is. You may, because of your relationship with people who are in uniform, but the average person doesn't know the difference between a indictable, a summary, or a dual hybrid offense. You need to know and articulate that. And then the other option is if someone from the store said, hey, that guy stole something, stop him. Now you're acting on their behalf, and that gives you extra abilities to act on their behalf. So it's more complicated. So is it possible that if you thumped them and you broke their nose, that they charged you and you'd be criminally charged for excessive force? It's possible. Stupid, but it's possible. So I think your best bet is to be the best witness you can be. Watch them, follow them, get a license plate number, get a description, whatever you can get. Tell police, videotape with your phone.
At the end of the day, it's a TV.
Yeah, it's
right.
Whatever
and you're not going to put yourself at risk. One good thump, even if he hits you and you fall and hit your head.
Oh yeah,
I've seen people die for less. So
and what if you kill them? Was it justified? Will they find in your? What if they sue you?
People die all the time from falling and hitting their head from a fight, from a fist. Like it's not worth it.
So Bruv says, I just believe that if we don't do anything, it will never change. And I 100% agree with you.
We're also not in a position where we will encourage someone to put themselves at risk of getting injured or worse. We all agree that more needs to be done.
Yes.
But we will also not encourage someone to put themselves in harm's way.
100%.
Especially when you look at the totality of the situation. Sometimes you just, like you said, Sean, you just be a good witness.
It's the best thing you can do.
Now, if it's me and this person's swinging at employees, I'm going in.
You're defending someone.
But that's where this can sometimes go, right? But if the guy's taking a TV and some peanuts off the shelf and everyone's yelling, just go. They got cameras. They're insured. Just let them go.
If they're trying to hurt someone, if you're saving a life, it is a totally different scenario.
Yeah.
But
a TV, let it go.
Yeah. Again, different situation, and every situation is different. I said the same thing backwards and forwards. It just depends. So you got to make your own decision, and you got to live with whatever happens. And hopefully nothing bad happens to you or even to them, quite frankly.
Because, a lot of these guys, a lot of them have knives on them. A lot of them have, needles, drugs. It's not.
They bite.
You don't want to live with AIDS.
They have disease.
Yeah.
It's like a rabid dog.
And a lot of them have box cutters, knives.
I've seen some pretty.
Someone who knows how to do it. It's quick, right? Like it's not worth it. Yeah. Just let them go.
But this is where I like the states, and I'll catch flack for
certain states. Certain states.
I like the states that allow you to
carry
bad people. So
just plug them.
Sometimes it's the only thing that makes sense. All right, it's now almost 2 hours, and I think we got to draw a line because we can keep doing this forever.
Yes,
2 hours is the max that I told my wife we would be. Dad joke from Bernhard. Dad joke. Why is it bad to iron a 4-leaf clover? You shouldn't press your luck.
What do you call monkeys running through a minefield? Baboons.
Baboons. But that's not monkeys. Okay, it's good. It's still good.
I thought it was good.
It's really good.
Okay.
But monkeys and baboons are not. Yeah. But
they're still monkeys, aren't they?
Technical. Bruv earlier left a 2 sales says LMFAO. Yes.
Should I have said apes? No, that's different too. I don't know.
Yeah, it's good. It was good. Bruv, very early on in the show, said, a child refused to take a nap. She was found guilty of resisting arrest. I like that one.
Yeah. My daughter's guilty of that every day.
Okay. This one was really good, and it's from Hi. And
like H-I-G-H or H-I?
H-I, and a wavy emoji. Where do rainbows go when they get arrested? A prism.
Oh, jeez.
That's good. It's a good one. Okay, dad joke from Rizzy. Gotta read this ahead of time.
Oh, this will be good. Yeah, I better read it ahead of time.
Okay, dad joke, and this is a good one. Phone rings, boss. Why aren't you picking up the phone? Me. I like to pick up the phone on the third ring. It makes me feel cooler. Boss says, pick up the phone right now. Me. Sigh. Fine. 911, what's your emergency?
There's too much reading involved.
It's not a zinger. It's a slow burn.
What happens when you boil a funny bone? It becomes a laughing stock. No? Okay, good talk. What do you call a camel with no humps? What? Humphrey. He's British, but he's Humphrey.
Hey, these are good. Do you have these written down somewhere?
No, my mother-in-law sent them to me, and I was like, these are good. I'm going to steal them.
Okay. Akela isn't here right now, but he sent
Mr. Draconis.
Akela Draconis. Hang on a second. He sent them earlier. Stand by. I'm not going to find it anyway. I got a good email earlier. What was my email? There was an email that I was excited about. And I'm starting a ham radio course on Monday. That was an exciting email today.
A ham radio?
Amateur radio.
Oh, cool.
Yes, amateur radio. I mean,
is it on AM channels?
I don't know how ham and am and whatever, but it's amateur radio, and I'm starting a course. It's going to be 10 weeks of training to get my amateur radio license. And,
I didn't even know you need a license to do that.
You need a license to use it.
I thought you just needed a good voice.
And but I think it's really cool. 25 years ago, I said I was going to do this, and here we are, 25 years later.
And here we are.
Oops, I missed it. So I'm doing it. It's a whopping $30 plus $50 for a book, and I need to start.
As usual, the book is more than the course, though.
No, well, this is just because it's an amateur radio club that's putting it on, and they're not about the money. They're about making it, bringing people into the hobby. There are like 1.9 million users in Japan, and 2 million in the States. Like, I don't know, a handful in Canada. I was looking at some stats, and I probably misrepresent them. Where's my joke from here? Okay, that joke from Akela. Why couldn't the astronauts land on the moon? It was full. It's not bad. Lately, he's had some stinkers. That was a good one.
Some stinker. Oh, way to go, Sean. He's not sending you any more emails.
Well, no, it's just he was, anyway. Oh no, I'm scared because this one is religious. If Mary gave birth to Jesus and Jesus is the Lamb of God, did Mary have a little lamb? I don't know if it's appropriate to laugh, use sound effects. I don't know. I don't know. Do you think Tatooine is a nice planet to visit? Reviews only gave it 2 stars. Star Wars dad joke.
Yeah.
Okay.
Even I got that one.
The first one was really good. What is this one? Why? Oh. Okay, I'm looking. Who's that? It's my uncle. He sent me. Okay. We see this. We see that. What's this? Okay. What else we got here? We get all the jokes.
So, what is the difference between black-eyed peas and chickpeas?
I'm concerned.
Well, you should be. Black-eyed peas can sing us a song. Chickpeas can only hum us one. What? Huh? Right?
Oh, we're getting some dad jokes coming into the mix here. Hang on a sec. We got dad joke from Rizzy. What do you call a parrot mixed with a centipede? A walkie-talkie.
That's
pretty good.
That's pretty good, yeah.
All right, we got
1 minute.
We got 1 minute. Okay,
I got to start the pit.
The pit. Where is this? Billy Whitehead says, "Can you get in trouble for having no front plate if you're driving from a different province?" No, you can't. That's not a joke. Yeah, in Ontario, there's an exemption for those that are out of province that don't have a front plate. So that was not a joke. That is the answer.
That's a fact.
That is a fact. What do you call a chicken crossing the road?
Fast
the
food.
reason there's an egg shortage.
Oh yeah, that's fair.
That's from the DJ. This is not a joke. Is it illegal to drink a beer in the house and you ain't disturbing or disrespecting anyone is illegal? Not sure what you're asking. Are you allowed to have a drink in your house? Yes, you're allowed to consume alcohol in your house. Yes. Totally don't know where you're going with this. Okay, the DJ has another one. He says, what do you call a fake noodle? An impasta.
Oh,
I like that a lot. That's actually excellent. Kevin says, is Algerian a nice planet to visit? Google reviews gave it 0 stars. Didn't I just read that one? Is that not the same thing?
nah,
Did you come up with that joke at the same time that I read another one?
That was 2 moons or something, right? 2 stars, something like that.
2 stars, but how did Kevin? How are you on the? Do you have the same calendar as Akela? I'm
Probably.
shocked and amazed at how. Anyway, is there help for someone going for their G1 but has a learning disability? Kaylee wants to know. Callie. There is actually. Go to my YouTube channel, VoiceOver Cop. There's links to it in the link in the bio, or go to trafficcop.ca, and I am reading you the book. Page
And
by
explaining
page.
you the book.
I'm explaining it. I'm reading it, and only where I think it needs additional stuff am I adding commentary and extra explainers. But you do have the opportunity to leave comments in the video where I will respond to you if you have things you need clarified. Of course, coming here is a great place to get some information too. Alderon. Oh, it was Alderon. He corrected as Algerian. Because I'd be like, Alderon sounds much more Star Wars. The DJ has another one. He says, what is funny? What is a funny mountain called? Hilarious. Hilarious. There were some really good dad jokes on the pit.
Well,
so the pit had
have to get on that.
Well, the pit had a not an anesthesiologist. It was a neuro guy, and he came in and he just spread the humor. What do you do if an officer keeps harassing you, pulling you over for no reason? That's Troy who wants to know. That is troubling. If it's truly for no reason, I would report it to their sergeant. Yeah. If they're pulling you over for a legitimate reason because you're breaking the law, then it's perfectly legitimate to be pulled over. It's a little odd that the same person keeps catching you, so that would, I would document that. I would go and suggest that there was an issue, or that there may be an issue. If it's a small town, you might get a repeat.
That's
police
me.
Officer.
I stop the same people all the time.
Really?
And they think I'm out looking for them, but it's like, no, you keep breaking the law. And
Funny how that
statistically, you're more likely to get stopped by me because we're the ones out there looking for you than anyone else. So
Troy says, how do I report never get a ticket from the same person? I would suggest that you get a dash camera and you record. I think that's what you do. And possibly have a record, whether it be audio or audio and video in your car. If you're really being harassed, you need to get some evidence. But yeah, it's tough. It's tough when someone doing the wrong thing and they have the power of a badge and if you don't have video evidence or audio to help your case, like to make it believable, someone will likely not believe you, and that sucks. So you have to do the extra work.
There are bad apples up there.
There are bad apples. Nobody hates them more than the good ones.
Yeah.
So if you need to build a case, you need to build evidence. You don't want to get in their face. You don't want to instigate things. You want to be very quiet and sort of not put up with them, but you're documenting. You're building evidence. You want to record yourself. You want to record them. Dash camera's a good one because you can get every single time with a date stamp that the car is behind you pulling you over. My dash camera records the audio inside the vehicle. So even though if I don't press record, it's still recording on a loop. Just make sure after that stop, you're downloading the video. You're saving it. And you don't have to do anything else. That dash camera, if it's a good one, like I have a U1000 from Thinkware, it's recording continuously. The audio in the car is being recorded. You're having that dialogue. You're saving it. You're going to put it onto your computer. You're going to back it up, and you're going to show it to the sergeant. And you're going to be counting dates and times and stuff. You may have to get a lawyer. Okay. You may even want to go to a lawyer before you go and make the report. Like, it's a very uncomfortable position. I feel for you. Troy says, okay, thanks. I just go to the police station and ask for a sergeant. You can do that. Is it a small service or is it a big service? If you're like in Toronto, or are you in, somewhere where there's 5 people? Because it becomes more yucky. Like it's just not comfortable. So if you could do that and go report to a sergeant. You could also make, if you're in the province of Ontario, you can make a LECA complaint, which is a law enforcement complaint agency complaint. Yeah, if you 5 people police service, I might want to talk to a lawyer.
Sounds like the OPP or the RCMP.
Yeah, it is more complicated because they could all be tight, and that's a crappy place to be. So I would talk to a lawyer, and get some guidance, especially if it puts you in any risk. Yeah. Saying OPP small town. You might want to talk to a different detachment, not the sergeant from there. Also, OPP tends to have a lot of acting sergeants, which is just their colleagues, but one is wearing the hat of I'm in charge today, and that could make it even more complicated. So, could be talking to a district boss, call the main number. Talk to somebody. There are good police officers. The majority of police officers are good. If you're having a situation with one of them, I'm sorry to tell you that you're in a bad spot, and you need to contact someone outside of that organization.
Seek
but
legal
LECA
advice.
is
Yeah.
the way to do it. I missed what you said.
Oh, I just said seek legal advice.
And yeah, getting a lawyer outside can really help, because the lawyer could go as a non-involved person and present the situation and possibly talk to higher ups. And I don't have any really great advice other than cover your butt with recordings, because you make a complaint, they're going to say no, it never happened. So you need to build your case, and that's where I'm on with that. If you need more, feel free to reach out to me. You can get me at trafficcop.ca, and I can ask some learned friends for better advice than if there's more to add than what I've already given you. What happened when cops pull you over and see you speeding in the highway, but they have no proof? If they saw you speeding in the highway, they have proof. They saw you.
Yeah, they did a visual estimation on you, and that was enough.
Yeah. Someone stole the lamps from the police station. The police are all delighted. Delighted. Should have read it. Delighted. Thanks to the DJ. DJ's on fire with some great jokes. And we go from police harassment to great jokes. Any tips on how to get insurance for a bike as a 21-year-old? As a motorcycle operator? Take a course for one. If you don't have a motorcycle operator's course, good luck. Let's start there. And possibly get a 1970s cheapy bike that doesn't have any R's in the name. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Two of my favorite jokes from, and then we're done.
Before we go, yeah.
One. Yes. I have to remember
this is part of the joke, right?
No. The first one is someone stole all the toilets from the police station. Police have nothing to go on.
We'll find a place.
I love that one. It will go anywhere. I learned to pee outside.
Yeah.
And then what is the other thing? To whoever stole my copy of Microsoft Office, you have my word. I will find you.
That's a good one, actually.
I like it. Two Sales says DJ is killing it, but in a very legal way. All right, with that, we are going to say good night, because it is time to say good night, and it's late, and tomorrow's another day. So 11 o'clock Eastern time. What time is it? 9 p.m. for you?
Yes, it is.
Look at that. We're going to do this again Thursday. Are you down for Thursday for a continuation of tonight? And by the way, I just got to make a mention that I'm wearing a Demolition Ranch shirt.
Actually?
Yeah.
Oh, I love that guy. He's amazing.
But here's the funny thing. I'm wearing the Demolition Ranch shirt, which I like, and I like this channel. And then I just happened to be scrolling on the magic of X, and I come across a video. Not a video, a picture. I'm like, hey, that's the shirt. That's the same logo on the back. And I look at it. It's like, it was about the investigation of the guy who shot Trump in the ear. And guess what shirt he's wearing?
Demolition.
And I remembered back then that he came out and said, dude, I never, he's not connected to me. I just sell merch.
Yeah.
But wow. Anyway, so I was like, wearing this shirt.
Please don't hate me.
Don't hate me for the shirt, but I like the shirt. Okay, let's see here. Did you? Oh, another one with another thing from DJ. Did you hear the celery got arrested? They charged him with stalking. That's very good. You really got them. These are good.
Yeah.
Two Sales says night. Thanks for all the laughs. And DJ says he's retired now. I don't know if he's responding to somebody else who asked about whether or not, but Okay. And then, oh, actually, Northern Boy, I got to hit this because we're going to be here for another hour. No, we're not going to be here for another hour. Northern Boy says, what's your thoughts on insurance companies wanting people to use an app? I can see that it is beneficial for them. I do not want to. Oh, the demolition guy's retired. That's what he's talking about. I wonder if it's, anyway. So I don't think that I would want to install an app. But I do have an app. And if you want to win $100,000, Logan, I meant to share this with you earlier. Did I tell you about the app?
You did. Not here, though.
Trafficcop.ca.
Yeah.
I have a link to it. You can download it. You can be, we're working on getting a team. But at the moment, you can simply download it, install it. It does track what you do, but the information is private. It anonymously sends data to the Traffic Injury Research Foundation, not your insurance company, not the police. And it rates you. And I got to tell you, I'm very proud to say that I have a 100% score on cell phone. That means I'm not touching my cell phone. And also, I have a 100% score on speed because I don't speed. And people say, well, you bull crap, you speed everywhere because you're a cop or used to be a cop. So you absolutely, speed. But I don't speed. And I have proof now. I've done about 850 kilometers whilst having this app installed. It's fantastic. $100,000 top prize. Very cool. The prize works by just driving safely. And if you install the app, you get entries into the pot or into the competition. September 14th is the last day of the event, so you don't have to be doing it the whole time, but you can certainly benefit. I like to win, so I'm constantly challenging myself to improve my score. It tells you whether, like, they said that I can't remember now. I got a podcast on it. It's on TikTok. It's on YouTube. You can go and listen to the conversation I had with the guys who run the company for the software, the people who are getting the data for the driving evidence to see how they're going to utilize it to make roads safer. I think it's awesome. StreamAgency.com joined and says, this is absolute fire.
You're talking about me, Sean. I'm talking about me.
They might be. And Banajan says, why is his voice so much louder? Whose voice? Is it my voice or his voice? I don't know. It's possible. I'm actually working with tech support to figure out why the levels are so different. But I have your voice down quite a bit.
Yeah.
So I got to listen back to it and see if it's all screwy, and then I'll have to edit it and change it and fix it.
Same time Thursday, though, right?
9:00 p.m.
Same time.
7 p.m. Mountain Time. I didn't know you were in
You got it.
Time. All right, with that, we're going to say goodnight. Have a wonderful, wonderful evening. Stay safe, drive sober, park legally, because Erin's dangerous.
She'll find you.
Take care, everybody. And I got to find the button. Where's the button? Where's my mouse?